I don't know nothing about the free parties, but I do know, right? Damn. Nah, because you about to get crazy. Go ahead and say it. That's how Diddy parties start, right? No, I'm just saying, let me put my time back on. I know you about to say some slick shit. Yeah, that's how he gets you. Take the time off, start throwing your shit around.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Club Shay Shay. I am your host, Shannon Sharpe. I'm also the proprietor of Club Shay Shay. And today, we're at the brand new Villa 66 at Resorts World in Las Vegas. This is a spectacular 2-bedroom entertainment villa on the 66th floor with a stunning view of the Strip. This is reserved for invited guests only, which I am. I'll be staying here tonight. The guy that's stopping by for conversation and a drink today is one of the most beloved comedians in the industry. He's had significant impact on the entertainment industry. He was on two of the greatest television shows in history, The Chappelle Show and The Wire. He was honored also with the Red Fox Award. He's a critically acclaimed actor, a versatile performer, seasoned stand-up comedian, a host, a writer for over 30 years. He tours the world to sold-out audiences everywhere. A fan favorite, a proud father, a larger-than-life personality. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Donnell Rawlings.
I really appreciate that introduction, but you missed one thing.
What I missed?
R&B singer. Something's got a hold on me lately, and I don't know myself anymore. And that's not the drink speaking, that's just me.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Teddy Drowns.
Oh, man. It's ironic that he's one of my favorite artists right now, and no black people swimming. I love Teddy Swims. So,
Teddy's unbelievable.
He's a good guy, too, man.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah. And he swims in the milk.
Yeah.
You know what that means, right?
No, I don't know what that means.
All right, you know what bunny hopping is, right?
Yeah, I know what that is.
Well, it's the opposite of bunny hopping. It's when a white guy dates a black chick. He swims in the milk, which would be such a disapproval to Dr. Umar. But I put it like this.
There you go.
I'm just saying, son. Some people don't appreciate love in all flavors. They used to call me Baskin Rawlings because I dipped in different flavors. And I supported happiness. I supported happiness. That's what
That's it.
That's what people
You like who like you.
I like who like me.
There you go.
There it is.
Bro, thanks for stopping by.
But damn, boy, them bunnies sometimes.
Man, come on, man.
I'm just saying, Lord have mercy.
I just want you guys
They silent, they don't talk a lot. Oh, man.
Shannon Sharpe does not approve of this.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Don't be playing
You're trying to get me. Come on, bro.
Let's just
You're
say
trying
this.
to get me canceled.
If you ain't canceled by now, you won't get canceled. All right? Certain people, when you create, and this is the real stuff, when you create your own lane, when you do it on your own terms, you are uncancelable.
Okay.
And people always ask that question, you think somebody gonna cancel you? People say to me sometimes, you think you get canceled? I'm like, first off, I'm not connected with a major network.
Right.
I'm not connected with no corporate sponsors. So my only boss is the people that work hard, pay the money, come see me.
You.
And they can't cancel you for that.
Well, I do have, I am on television. I work for the guy that got the ears.
Right.
I was trying to want to keep that little gig.
I spoke on me. I didn't speak on you. And you said that your face looked like,
Yeah, no.
like, you know what? He speaks for himself. I'm speaking for myself.
I did not approve the message that Mr. Rawlings delivered earlier. Thank you very much.
Okay. All I'm just saying, be happy.
Bruh, thanks for stopping by, man. You want a toast?
My mother, I talked to my mother, right? I said, I'm doing Shannon's show. She said, well, don't get crazy. And she told me, don't drink the yak. But I'm in a profession right now where I don't have any discipline. So to my mother, you'll have to get over it. She'll be all right. I love you, Mom. It's a holiday. Tis to see you to be jolly.
Everything that you've done in the industry, continued success, bro. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. And, my mother might have been right. Damn, that is smooth, though. You got the fancy sifters, too.
Yeah.
That's the next level right there.
We're gonna send you home. We're gonna send you a couple of bottles with you.
Yeah, I saw Wiz Khalifa the other day. You could send me home with something else, too. I'm just saying.
I didn't keep them. No,
people upstairs. He didn't keep anything.
I dn't keep anything. Right. No, I don't.
I was like this. I said, I'm coming back the week after. I said, still gonna be some remnants of it. So, yes.
You partake?
What? I just want to say this. All the questions could be politically correct. You mean partake? Do I get high? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I smoke what? Do I smoke a fatty? In some cases I do.
You do?
And I don't, but the thing is, I'm not like some people, like they smoke just to get lit.
Right.
I like it, and then even my preference is like hybrids, heavier on the sativa side.
Right.
Because I like stuff that make me feel creative
Okay.
or make me want to write. But I don't like to like smoke a joint and just lay on the
Yeah,
couch.
yeah,
but I really
be
partake.
spaced out.
So you partake?
No, I don't.
Damn, this is gonna be chess. This is gonna be chess.
No,
All
we-
interview.
we-
All right.
You're from the DMV.
Yes.
Quake from the DMV.
Yes.
Martin Lawrence, Wanda Sykes, Chappelle,
Yes.
Tommy Davidson. What is in the water? What's in the soil? How you get all these guys from that little one central location?
I think you have that in different cities. Atlanta's is a good market.
Chicago.
Chicago's a good market. Joe Rogan has made Austin a good market. But I think that when that crew of people, you miss a couple of people. Good friend of mine, my mentor, Fat Doctor.
Okay.
It's just something about the people that we really believed in being good stand-ups.
Okay.
And we learned from like craftsmen, you know what I'm saying? Now today, you know, the comedy is going to a way where people go up there and ask like crowd work questions and everything. I don't think that that's the best form of stand-up, but it's getting paid. But we was coming up, we came up behind Martin Lawrence, Tommy Davidson. So we used to go to those shows. We wanted to be good. So we used to always sit in the back and study. The young comics today, they don't do that. We used to sit in the back and study and watch what makes this guy dope. What is he working on? How much time does he have? Is he good at some of the crowd work? Is he a good storyteller? So when you have people like that you're coming behind, you have no choice but to be a good comic because you're coming behind some of the best people to do it. And and it's a funny thing you said, everybody that you named on that list is still actively
Correct.
doing it, and we're talking like guys that have careers of 25, 30, 40 years, still relevant and still making people laugh.
I noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong, I noticed a lot of the young and up-and-coming comedians, they're like lean heavily on the skits. And the older guys didn't really do a whole lot of skits. You got up there with a microphone, you had a stool, and you told jokes, you walked the room, you appealed to the crowd. Do you notice a difference in how stand-up is being
I
performed
noticed
now?
a difference, but I will say it's evolved. And the reason why it was like that, we didn't have access to what the kids have today to blow up. I had a conversation with a young female comic, maybe like 7 years ago. She said, I'm a comedian. I was like, let me see some of your stuff. And she went to YouTube. She said, well, I do these skits. And I said, that's not being a comedian. She said, yes, it is. I said, no, it's not. But then she broke open the Webster dictionary definition, one who entertains a crowd with humor. So when I started, it wasn't the sketch stuff. So when you say comedian, you only associated it with stand-up.
Telling
Now,
jokes.
You're telling jokes. But now it's a whole different thing. The only thing, the thing about it is I'm like a real artist to this. I believe in it. And you see some of the younger guys, they get on real quick. And you're like, well, I like them doing their skits, but not doing the stand-up. I just wish that some of them just would respect the art enough to take it a little bit more serious and want to be a craftsman of it. But when I first started, if you wanted to get pussy, if you wanted to get money, and you wanted to get fame, you had to be good first.
Correct.
You had to be good before the money came. You had to be good before the girls came. You had to be good before the fame came. But now you got somebody that can go viral real quick, don't have that skill set. So how do you tell a younger comic, you know what, you need to work on this? And when he look at his YouTube money, and it's like this.
10 million, 15.
I just made 300,000 this week. I don't care about being good, right now.
Right.
I care about getting this money. But then you have some people that break away from it, that take the tools of being able to do this stuff on the internet and also work on being good stand-ups too.
But let me ask you this. When you're skit driven, is that sustainable? Because, I mean, now you can see some of you guys can also, you came up in the stand-up game where you told jokes, you worked the room, but you can also do skits. But do you believe if you start with skits first, is that sustainable?
It's sustainable because you're gonna get the money fast.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, what are most people doing it for the cash? You don't have to do skits for 10 or 15 years. You got some of these guys that get a lick for 2 years, and if they invest their money right, do the right thing,
They'll make 5, 10
they
million.
good. But the funny thing, when I first started, I started as a stand-up, and then I realized that a lot of the jokes that I was doing was three-dimensional. They was like characters.
Right.
They had storylines. So, and I'm talking about maybe like 30 years ago. So I said, what I want to do is take my jokes, make them characters. not
Right,
them
okay,
skits.
yes.
I had a sketch group years ago called Secret Society.
Okay.
Red Grant was in that sketch group.
I believe
Good for
College Ball,
yeah,
Red.
I know. And he told me everybody knew Shannon came to college, only had 2 shirts and 2 pairs of pants. That's what he said. And then he also said back then that's when he used to wear his watch to tell time. Yeah. But
Yeah.
so it's a whole
There you go.
It's a whole different ball game now. Ocho, I'm telling you.
Man, I had a nice Seiko.
Yeah,
What
I
you
know.
talking about?
I know. You rock time. You made me feel, smoke. What was the question again? The end of it.
The
You said,
sustainability with skits.
oh,
versus
I had
skits.
a schedule. It was me, Red Grant, it was Mike Epps. It was this guy, Rich Perales. It was a whole bunch of us. And we was doing sketch back then. We was ahead of the game before the Chappelle Show even existed. I had to I looked into the future. I was like, all right, I'm gonna bring this super group together. It was like 12 of us. And I knew the group wasn't gonna last long because anytime you got 12 different personalities, it's always gonna change.
That's a lot.
It's always gonna change. But what I realized, I felt like it was like Wu-Tang of sketch. I was like, I knew we wasn't gonna all stay together. I knew that we had people that kind of was stronger on the producer side, stronger on the writing side and the acting side. In fact, my manager at the time, she said, Donnell, I think that group is about to fall apart. And I was like, it's designed to fall apart. But if it wasn't for us coming together like this, we wouldn't have had the platform for people to see what to do. But you can sustain a career with just doing sketches because people are coming out just for that. Not in a million years would I thought somebody could make millions of dollars in tour theaters just sitting on a stage having a podcast and talking. So comedy, the way it's perceived and how you can make it work for you, it's evolved where it's so many different lanes open now.
When I think of comics in the past compared to today's comics, you guys, they had a very seedy past. They've had a very, like, you look at Pryor, and you hear Miss Pat tell her story, and she's almost like an old school comic, the heartbreak and the disappointment that she's had. And what a comic is able to do, they're really able to take true events and make them funny.
Yes.
And that's how they're able to get over the trauma and the hurt and the pain that they're dealing with. Do you notice that the comics today are a lot different? Their path is a lot different than you guys?
To get there?
Yeah.
I think that, I don't want to say it's easier, but you have different avenues.
Okay.
When I came up, first off, on the stand-up side, it was almost impossible to be seen as a black comic because you only had a couple of you had the David Letterman show, Johnny Carson. I'm talking about way back in the day.
Yeah, right.
And then if you look at the list of comics, they used to do that, it was all white comics. You might have one black comic every couple of years. That's why it was a good thing that Def Comedy Jam came, because there was a group of comics, it was the Chitlin Circuit, it was underground, but they weren't being seen. But I think that now your phone, man, I tell anybody, your phone can just blow you up. And everybody in this business, they make excuses, but at the end of the day, you can have a little bit of talent, but if you got the right work ethics, you can make it happen for yourself. When I started here, ABC, CBS, and NBC, HBO would give us special every 2 years, but how many people got an opportunity at? So the people that sit back and complain about what they can't do, my dad told me a long time ago, you got 2 excuses, a good excuse and a bad excuse. And at the end of the day, your success is dependent on how hard you work, and you can get it. It's too many examples of that get it with the right work ethics.
Right. Would you consider DC the funniest city? You mentioned New York, but when you look at per capita, you look at the DMV and how small it is compared to a Chicago, compared to a New York and some of these other major cities.
Everybody got their bosses, everybody got these people. But I think pound for pound, DC is one of the best cities that's had comics that not just got hot for a minute, been able to sustain themselves in this business.
Yeah, man.
And a lot of people can make arguments with Chicago. It's a lot of good comics that come out of there. But when you talk about the people that's been on the small screen, the big screen, and has success just touring, I think hands down DC is one of the best cities.
We look at Martin, been on television and in the movies. You look at Dave Chappelle, television and movies. Tommy Davidson, television and movies. Wanda Sykes, television and movies. Donnell, when you got into this, because you see the transition, you see Richard Pryor was a stand-up, did television. Eddie Murphy, stand-up, did television. Right. Is that the natural progression? Does most, I can't say all, Kevin Hart, can't say all, there's no such thing as all and every, but do a lot of comedians get into stand-up with the hopes and dreams, aspirations of doing television?
I think a lot of them, that's their ultimate goal.
Okay.
But I also think that at the end of the day, and I look at my career, you know, whether I do another film project, or do another television project, I've at least positioned myself where I can put my name on the marquee and make some good money for the rest of my life.
Okay.
You know, I think that that's an evolution for some people, but not all people. And some people, it was like the stand-up was just the platform and the setup to be an actor. Chris Tucker, when Chris Tucker first started, everybody knew when Chris Tucker first started, he probably had 10 minutes of a fire set. You know what I'm saying? But when you saw Chris Tucker perform Def Jam, when he came out just pissed off, man.
Yeah.
I'm so broke. If it robbed me, it'd just be practice. You knew you wasn't just looking at a stand-up, you was looking at a movie star.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was one of those guys. And Martin Lawrence is a great stand-up. But when you look at Martin Lawrence, you could see him in a television show. You could see him in a movie. But for everybody, it doesn't work out like that.
Correct.
Everybody some people don't care to be film, TV. They just want to be able to make an honest living doing something they love. And how many professions or how many people get an opportunity to actually call their own shots, they're their own boss, do what they want to do and make a good living? Not too many.
Right.
And it's not, even if you look at the era, the Def Jam area, the era of all the comedians with the nicknames and everything, I would say out of everybody performing on Def Jam, it's probably 5 or 10% of those people that are actively working, people will still go pay a ticket price to go see.
NFL playoffs. We're talking about NFL playoffs. You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdown is the key to winning NFL playoffs, and the key to you scoring big, betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something as simple as a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, make your pick. Here's another reason to bet your favorite player to crush it in the playoffs. New customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big during the NFL playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code Shannon. That's code Shannon for new customers to get $200 in bonus bet instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. You kind of got your breakout. You worked on a show, and many consider this show as one of the greatest TV shows, if not the greatest, The Wire.
Right.
Based in Baltimore.
Yeah.
How did that role come about?
The crazy thing, if you are really a historian on The Wire and David Simon in Baltimore area, you know that Charles Dutton had a miniseries called The Corner. The Corner was before The Wire. And my relationship with The Wire was I played Bread on The Corner, a heroin addict on that show. And David Simon, if you watch any show that he's produced or he's written, he is really loyal to people that worked with him before. So that kind of gave me a heads up on the opportunity to be on The Wire. But the crazy thing about The Wire was the role of Omar, it came down to me and Michael on that role of Omar.
Right.
Robert Cosbury, one of the executive producers of The Wire, who's not there anymore, when I came on set, he said, we had you heavily favored to play the role of Omar. Right? I had no idea that. He said, but this character, Day Price, we thought there was going to be something special. We wanted to save you for this role. And if you really follow Wire, you notice a lot of people say first season was all about the towers. Stringer Bell, Idris Elba, Wood, and all those guys. The second season, it made a twist. It went from the towers to the docks about being at the shipyard. And that was because the Baltimore Tourism Board was complaining that every time they have a show that's in Baltimore, is always depicted as being a seedy, drug-ridden. And I'm like, when the last time you walked downtown? That's what the fuck it is.
They ain't lying.
They call it Bodymore they don't call it for no reason. So they had to switch, because my character, Senator Clay Davis' assistant, I got caught with $30,000, right? I had to give it back. And then next season, my character wasn't in the story arc. So once they switched it to the docks, my character got lost. Then David Simon, who's really loyal to people that's on that show, he wanted to pay like homage to my character. He brought me back. But that was an amazing experience to be on that show.
The role that you played, how easy was it for you to play that role?
Clay Davis? No role is easy for me to play because I'm more connected to stand-up than acting.
Right.
And to be quite honest, half the time I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. It was one scene, McNulty, he was one of the actors in The Wire. He was a director too. So it was one scene when I had to snitch on Clay Davis, right? And I was feeling uncomfortable doing it. I was like, what emotion do I want to have? So I was playing it like kind of nervous, like, oh no. And then he came up to me with his accent. He was like, I don't know if you're playing it right. He said, I think you really want to put this guy down. You want to lock him up. I said, motherfucker, I don't know where you from, but where I'm from, you don't snitch.
Yeah.
And you don't snitch like he's a jolly good fellow. You don't be like, oh, it's that guy. Put him away. You got to act like that's the hardest shit in the world. You're like, oh, man.
I really don't want to
snitch, but I don't want to go to jail as much as I don't want to snitch. And then after I did that, he was like, okay, I think you might be bloody right. And then he let it stay. Yep. But that show, man, even though it was so interesting because in acting, I never took a class. I never been trained. The most training I've ever done was I got a monologue book and I used to practice in the mirror different monologues. And the crazy thing was, even when I got the role of Bread on the corner, I had no idea how that happened.
Right.
I was in an audition for like 30 minutes and the casting director, Jackie Brown Carmen, she was one of the biggest black casting directors in New York. I was eating in this audition. And I wanted to be like, I'm all right, whatever. And she said, Donnell, God is in the room. You good, take your time. I was like, well, God, you need to come right now. I did the audition and I didn't think anything. I was like, that's past me. And I booked the role. And when I went on set, the first thing I asked David Simon, I said, how did y'all pick me? I was like, I really thought I bombed that role. I didn't know what was going on. And he said, Donnell, we like the fact that you threw the lines away and you did your own thing. The reason why I threw the lines away, because I didn't remember the lines. Yo, I ain't
You ain't throw it away?
I ain't throw it away. I didn't know it. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So, and then another thing, because I was playing a heroin addict.
Yes.
And I think that everybody, and I don't be reading my scripts like I'm supposed to, everybody looked at that character as a heroin addict, and I'm pretty sure everybody went in there with the stereotype of leaning like the dope fiend and everything. And I didn't do that because I didn't know. I just thought it was a cool dude.
Right.
And what they wanted to see was, who was this guy when he wasn't high? Was he that funny guy in the neighborhood if he wasn't high? So, I guess God was in the room. I got that part. I built a relationship with those people of HBO, and it led to me being on The Wire.
When you were doing The Wire, did you realize it was going to be so well received and it would be the phenomenon that it became?
I didn't. I had no idea. But what I did know, I was doing shit nobody else was doing.
Right.
I was a Def Jam comic. At that time, I probably was one of the only comics that was on Def Comedy Jam and then on a critically acclaimed show.
Right.
I didn't predict it to be that big, but it just took on a life of its own. I mean, Idris Elba, came from working the door at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City to being one of the biggest stars in the country. And I got to tell you something, I hated that when he was on the show. And the reason why, because they had these women called a string of bellettes or something.
Yeah.
He had fans everywhere, right? And then I would meet girls and they were like, wasn't you on The Wire? And I thought it was my time to shine, right? They'd be like, yeah. They'd be like, could you introduce us to Stringer Bell? I was like, you and Stringer Bell, right? But when they killed him, I was like, yeah, where your man at now? He dead.
How you celebrate the man getting killed off?
Man, because he was taking all the girls. And I was so happy. Then he just really doubled down and became one of the biggest international stars in the world. So he won that fight. But
he's out back.
But it was Wood, all of those guys, man. And we had like a dope unit. Like I was still doing stand-up then. And can you imagine, I would do like a little hole-in-the-wall spot in Brooklyn and have half the cast of The Wire show up. It was crazy, but nobody knew how big that show would be and how it lasted long. We talking about, there was a article, Entertainment Weekly, and they said they had 100 best shows in the history of TV. And Chappelle Show and The Wire ranked. And I was like, you ask yourself legacy, what people remember you by. If nothing else, if I'm not a part of anything else, at least I could say I was a part of what people are going to talk about. They're going to be talking about that shows until the end of time.
Yeah, in the 100-year history of television, I've been on two of the biggest shows.
They might remember part of Def Jam,
right,
but those shows they remember. And I was doing both of them at the same time.
Yeah. What do you remember about Idris? Because that was early in his career also, so he was just an up and comer just like yourself.
I remember he took all the damn girls. That's all.
That's all you cared about.
I'm still traumatized. And then he would double down with that punk ass English accent. You want to go to the Bloody Hotel? And I got in New York. Yo, son, y'all try to go? It was a whole different thing. But I say, one of the most humble guys, and people don't understand. They hear about him DJing, whatever. I think Idris is, and still to this day, is as passionate about DJing as he is as an actor.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Oh, he takes the DJing super serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you first heard that accent, did you like, bro? I saw you at Caroline's Comedy Club, bro. You don't talk like that.
When I first heard the accent, I wanted to keep talking because I wanted to use it.
Oh, you was studying
I
it.
wanted somebody to come to the Bloody Hotel too. I wanted somebody to come to the Bloody Hotel. I'm like, oh man, he tall, dark, handsome, and an accent. I ain't got a chance, man. And I was just starting my Ashy journey at that time, so
Right.
I was out of the loop.
But if you think about it, if you go back, you look at Idris and the role that he played, and you look at Damson, Idris in Snowfall. How the British actors getting all these gangster roles?
I mean, they students of the craft. I know it's been some talk like to get on the road, but you got to be just imagine the level you have to be. All those guys, they got to get dialect coaches.
Yeah, because I didn't know the guy in Snowfall. I did not know he was British.
No.
I couldn't tell.
I don't know if they're working for a cheaper amount of money. I don't know if they're on the low, that part of it. But for you to be able to embody these characters and to do it out in another accent,
Yes.
it's got to be something to be said about their skill set. But at the end of the day, we complain about everything. But at the end of the day, may the best man win.
Right.
You know?
Because a lot of people, they're getting upset, like, hold on. You got black actors right here in America, and then you bring British actors to play a black person, a black American.
Right.
Why not just hire a black American to play a...
Because they might not have been the best person for the job.
Okay.
I don't understand. This business is about competition.
Right.
And like what you're saying, like people complain. I know this may sound crazy. Work harder.
Right.
Everything ain't gonna be for you.
Right.
You gotta keep going. This whole notion, first off, Hollywood is up.
Okay.
It's up. The people's perception of it is different. At the end of the day, all a lot of people do is sit back and complain. I say pull yourself up by the bootstraps, work harder. If you didn't get that role, keep going. This field is a job where you going to be rejected 95% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is a job where you're gonna be broke most of the time. When people come up to me like, Donnell, you got any advice or words of wisdom? I always tell them, you first off, you gotta be able to be happy being broke. In this business, if you can't be happy being broke, you might as well get out of it because you're gonna be broke most of the time you're doing it. If you could find that happy place, if you could, and I say in my case, when I first started, I wasn't making no money. When I would do a gig for $30 and get a 5-pound bag of potatoes, some bologna, some cheese, and some eggs, I'm like, I got food for the rest of the week. I was happy because I knew if I keep on, eventually it's gonna pop.
Right.
And not everybody, but for the most part, you're gonna get a shot. You're gonna get in the game, but what you do with it when you get in the game, and that's what's gonna separate you from everybody else to sit back and complain and not doing nothing, and looking at everybody succeed and complain about it.
When you became successful, you did The Wire, you did the Chappelle Show, you're still doing your
I
stand.
wasn't successful then. I was working. I wasn't
working.
successful. That's the illusion people have about TV.
They think when you're a kid, everybody making big dollars though.
Nigga,
You weren't
let me
collecting
tell you
no dollars?
something, man. When I was doing Chappelle Show, and the thing about it was, you heard me saying I'm rich bitch at the end of her show, right?
You were rich.
Yo, I was rich. Yo, I go to restaurants, that bill would come, they would be like this, we thought you was rich, bitch. I said, I'm nice. But at the same time, Shannon, I knew I was positioning myself for success.
Right.
When I was doing Chappelle Show, and I seen people come on this platform, that's what I don't understand about actors and people. You signed the contract.
Yes.
You put your name on the dotted line.
Right.
You started this show. It was a small show. It just so happened that the show blew up.
Right.
Right? Your contract already signed. So you entitled to all that money? No. The only person in the history of this business has ever really tested the industry and said, you know what? I know I did do a the contract, but I know my value is, and y'all still gonna step up. Dave Chappelle,
Right.
the only one. He forced the hand of Comedy Central, and I think it was very admirable what Comedy Central did, because they could have said, "Man, you, this is what we're supposed to pay you." But when I was doing Chappelle Show, I was making $500 a sketch, and people already know the blogs like, "Oh, they should have," but the show wasn't established. I knew the best thing I could do, that was just standard. That's what you got as an actor. But I knew me working that episode, me getting 3 minutes of camera time, now I could go out and get my money on the road.
Right.
Even when we was working the first 2 years, me, Charlie, nobody on that show was making a lot of money. But I was like, wait a minute, this don't match up. Everywhere we go, we hearing I'm Rick James, bitch, and everything, right? We know we popping, but our bank accounts ain't popping. And I was like, we got to do something. I came up with the idea. I said, we need to do a tour. I said, let's do a tour called I'm Rich Bitch Tour, right? And at that time, I forget the name of the agency, but it was a young agent named Mike Berkowitz, right? He was a very young agent. My manager brought to him, I said, I want to do this tour. Charlie name is popping. It was nowhere you go, you didn't hear Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy never did comedy before, which I found very strange, to be around all these people,
Right.
but never tested yourself. So I said, if I want to do this tour, I'm the first person that ever took Charlie Murphy on stage. And I bullied him to do it, because Charlie, man, is a funny guy, talk a lot of trash. And then whenever I wanted to shut him, I was like, yeah, you tough in the streets, but put a microphone in your face and see what happened. I knew we was trying to get some money.
Right.
He did his first open mic. All I needed him to do was have 10 minutes. Bill Burr, at the time, and it's no disrespect, because you see what happened to Bill Burr's career. At the time, Bill Burr probably was a comedian, was headlining probably $1,000 a weekend. And I'm not saying it no disrespect, but you knew anytime somebody saw Bill Burr, you know he was going to pop. But that's just where he was then. And I said, okay, I get Charlie to do 10 minutes. I bring Bill Burr on the show, and Bill Burr wasn't a draw, but he was a funny act. And I said, we're going to do this tour. Yes, I could put anybody else on the tour, give them a little bit of money. But I said, no, we're going to go get some money, 3-way split. And we did the I'm Rich Bitch tour. And we made probably at that time in our career, the most money we ever made. But with anything, Charlie started to know what his value was in regard to people wanting to pay to see him. Bill Burr was buzzing. He knew that he was about to take off. But we had to make adjustments. That 500 episode was getting us thousands of dollars on the weekend, and at that time, that was the most money any of us have ever seen.
Right. Was he the first white comic that you actually that you went on tour with?
Yeah. But Bill Burr, his story was like, Bill Burr, when he came to New York, he was one of the few white comics that did every room. He did the mainstream room, and then he did the Chitlin Circus. And I think part of his, he's a very powerful, strong comic.
Yeah.
But I think he got a lot of edge being able to go into those rooms that everybody feared and just take control of it. But Bill Burr has always been a funny guy.
How difficult is that when you're young, you're a black comedian? Because I've always asked, and I ask this a lot of times, do you write a set, like I'm gonna be in a predominantly white audience, do I write a set accordingly? I'm gonna be in front of a predominantly black audience, do I write a set accordingly? How difficult is that to do when you're young and up and coming? Obviously, once you get established, you can go into any room.
It's the toughest thing, because usually when you first start sharing it, your voice is usually who you perform for.
Right.
So if I do the Chitlin Circuit, it's easily for me to go up there, the way I speak, certain things that I say, I already know they're gonna understand it. But then you have to, and even with me helping with my accent from DC, coming to New York, I was going places and people's like, what did you say? Certain rooms, it wasn't that way. Other rooms, I'd said, you know what? You gotta work on your diction. You gotta enunciate and you gotta do this. But a lot of comics, they get used to one circuit or one side of it and stay with that. But I always knew that I wanted to do more than just the Chitlin Circuit. Right. I wanted to do more than just what the black comics. And my thing was, I wanted to be, when I was in New York, there's a very popular club called the Comedy Cellar. It's like the biggest comedy club in the world, the biggest names. And when I was in New York at the time, it was only 2 or 3 black comics working there. It was Keith Robinson, it was Dave Chappelle, Greer Barnes, and William Stevenson.
Okay.
That was it. And it basically is like you walk around the corner, the black club and the white club. It wasn't too many people doing both. And I said to myself, if I'm going to be respected in this business, or if I want to be one of the best to do it, then I want my name to be on the same line out as the best to do it. And that was one of the reasons why I said I wanted to do mainstream, because the black circuit back then, they was paying more,
Right.
but you didn't really have no future. And at the end of the day, you were just getting pussy in a check. And it wasn't even a big check.
But for you, you'd realize that in order for me to be what I want to become, I'm gonna have to have crossover appeal. I'm gonna have to go appeal to that wider audience.
I gotta go where people are gonna see you. Back then, you producers and directors and executive producers, they wasn't going
to the
Chocolate Sunday. They wasn't going to the Boston Comedy Club Sunday night. They wasn't going there. So if you wanted to be seen, you had to cross over. Or another thing people do, people used to get caught up in the fame of it, in the women, in the money. Like, I'm cool with this. But as the years go on, you like this. I wasted so much time just catering to this side of it when I could have been over here. That's one of the things, like, I hear people talk about Kevin Hart all the time. Kevin Hart was smart enough, and I'm not here to defend anybody. And you know something about your couch, you be wondering when it's going to heat up, right? And I know deep down them cards is going to get crazy. Yeah. That's a lot of cards, right? I'm looking at him like this. He got me with like, so when you was growing up, what inspired you? I'm waiting for you like this. So when you and so was beefing, but what people don't know, and I'm using, Kevin Hart don't need me to defend him. I know this little work ethics.
Yes.
Because I was a part of it. I said it on another platform. I remember Kevin Hart had one joke, and this is not being racist, he's doing an impression of a monkey, right?
Right.
And he was the best monkey you ever seen do a monkey joke. He had this, he had this going on, the ooh, ah, and everything. And he used to rip, and he used to work the grimiest spots. But he used to commute from Philly. He would come up, he would do my clubs, the hood clubs, those $50 spots, and then he'd go do the mainstream spots. He knew that this is only gonna get me one thing. He had a bigger picture. He knew exactly what he was gonna do. He knew how he was gonna get there. You want representation? Guess what? They're not going to the chicken factory. They're going to the cellar. They're going to the comedy strip. They're going to that. And you have to have the work ethics to sit around, Shannon, and wait for opportunity. Somebody fall out on the lineup.
Right.
Somebody, you gotta get a reference to somebody. Just sit around, just hanging out. One day, okay, now's your shot to go in there. And I seen him do that. I seen him go from my spots to the comedy cellar spots. I seen him get a manager. I seen him go to one of the most prestigious comedy festivals. It's a comedy festival. Shout out to my man Bruce, who ran the JFL Comedy Festival for years. This festival, 25 years ago.
Toronto?
Montreal.
Montreal was being Canada, yes.
This was everybody's dream if I could get on there. Guess what? You're not going to get on there in a chilling circuit. You're not. There's no way. Some kind of way you got to get into the audience, you got to mainstream. But one thing about that special, it broke so many people. That festival, Monique, Uptown Comedy Club, it broke her. This festival was so dope, Shannon. You can go up there with an 8-minute showcase set, 9 or 10 minutes. And if you got a point of view, people can see what they could do. You walking out of there, people was walking out there with a $250,000 deal just to hold you. That's what that festival was. And when people don't understand, they say, well, how did so-and-so go from
this to that?
To that? You missed the whole shit. And the reason why you missed it, because you wasn't invited. You didn't have the audition. And you can't knock a person that knows how to use their resources and position themselves for the right people to see them. Or you could bitch, complain, do them chitlin circus shit all you want. They pay money. That's where I came from. But eventually, you got to figure out how to maneuver yourself through this business. Kevin blew up off of that. Dave Chappelle blew up off of that. Sue Costello, Monique. It was so many people. It was the hottest festival. And that's what the birth of Kevin Hart was for the people like, he's a plant. No. His path was different from your path. You cannot fault anybody because the way they get it is different from the way you get it. And all of this bullshit about, oh, I came through the mud, so-and-so. Guess what? I came through the mud. Guess what, Shannon? I took a shower. I put cologne on the day. I washed myself. I used my watch to let you know how much time. And I switched it up.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
When you started becoming having success, did people think you took the easy way out? Because it seems to be, I get that now. Oh, he sold his soul.
But guess what? They don't know. What did Prince say? It sometimes take 10 years to be an overnight success. Those people that just introduce you, they don't know. But the real people, they know.
Right.
That's why I've had arguments with comics or whatever. Oh, he ain't so-and-so. I'm like, ask somebody about me. Ask somebody about my career. Oh, it's easy. You got the suits. Ask somebody about me moving from D.C., sleeping on my man Royale Walker's couch for a year and a half. He get a TV show, leave me in his apartment. I ain't got no money, no electricity, no water.
You ain't paying the bills?
Huh?
You ain't
I tried to pay the bills. Them $30 shows wasn't getting it. Yo, I had an African landlord too. And he's so sick of me, man. We used to pay him with IO. He was so mad. He said, please, I would pay you to leave. Yo, because it was an area about to be gentrified. He was like, please, no, I don't want nothing. I just want you to leave. I'm talking about a stitching cord to my man's apartment up top, sliding down, switching that stitching cord from a hot plate to an iron to a heater. People don't know. Nobody knows your comeback other than the people there. But then at some point, it ain't your job to give a you know?
Because a lot of times all they see is the success, but they never see the struggle. And because they didn't see the struggle, they see the success. They see the TV shows, they see the cars, they see the house, they see whatever.
That's what everybody want to do now. They want to be you. Everybody want to be you today.
Right.
Everybody want to be Joe Rogan today.
Right.
Nobody want to be Joe Rogan 25 years ago when people's like, what the is this? But now they see success, they want to do it. You don't even know how many they say, now I'm going to do a podcast. I want to do a Club Shay Shay. They don't know how many years you was putting in when nobody believed in this.
Right.
When you was like, watch, it's going to pop. If I keep going. I had offers to do this show, people trying to, and this before it popped. And I feel bad, not feel bad coming on it down, because I really didn't want it to feel like, oh, now it's popping. But it was always a conflict. And another one of the reasons, because we got mutual friends, Red Graham, my man Keith Burns was one of your players.
Okay, yeah.
I grew up, I've known him since we played Little League football together. Right? But going back to my point, everybody wants to take the easy route. Nobody wants to take the hard work. It takes something like this. It wasn't last year. No. It takes years. It takes years of looking at those subscriptions. God damn. I thought that one was going to pop. Like 1,000 views.
You don't know.
You don't know. But then when that lick hits, you feel good. But everybody else like, oh my God. But you back there like this. I knew it.
Right.
All I needed was the time.
You go back to The Wire, yourself, Idris Elba, you had Michael B. Jordan was on there. I think he was like 14, 15 years of age.
Yeah.
Michael K. Williams. I mean, that cast that you guys had, what was did you have a relationship? Were you guys ever set together?
I had a relationship with Idris Wood. I had a relationship with him. Michael B. Jordan, I was like so much older than him. I really had nothing in common with him. Michael K. Williams, we was really, really close. That was like one of my closest guys connected to that. He used to come out, he was a real Brooklyn dude.
Yeah.
So he used to be like, man, RIP to him. He was a great dude. You know, troubled souls, you know, things happen, but he was like one of my closest connections. But the biggest connection, and I want to go back, when I did The Corner, Tasha Smith.
Okay.
Tasha Smith and Candy Alexander, right?
Okay.
Tasha Smith, and I don't want to be offensive or anything. When I say this, people don't have to take it the wrong way. She's a bad bitch. And when I say that, not just on the acting side, I'm talking about directing. There is nothing she can't do.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. I'm trying to encourage her to go back. She started as a stand-up. But she was my coach. When I didn't know what I was doing, Shannon, and I don't have, you talking about a guy with no training.
Right.
She used to put me to the side, read my lines with me. In fact, she was the reason why I was on BMF.
Wow.
She was like, she called me one day. You know how certain people call you, you know it's a money phone call, right? And I was getting dressed for another thing. It was for Winning Time, the HBO show.
Yeah.
About the Laker dynasty.
Yeah.
And I'm all happy. I'm like, I'm working. and I get a call for her. I'm like, I ain't got time to answer this call. I'm getting dressed, right? As soon as I picked the phone up because she said, when I call, you better answer that goddamn phone. I'm with 50 right now. I'm with Randy. Randy was with the creator, and she basically gave me that role.
Wow.
That role I played, what was that? Alvin. She gave me that role. And this is what people don't understand about this business. Everybody always want to say, oh, you had that little role or that little so-and-so.
Because they didn't have it.
No, not only that, because they didn't have it, but only that, they don't look at what you building.
Right.
First off, I tell anybody, you got to get on set first. You got to get on set. Oh, I'm going to turn it down. I only got one line. You got to get on set. That role that I played, I was only supposed to be in one scene. Season finale. Randy loved that character so much because it was based on one of his cousins. He was really connected with that. I was supposed to be on one episode, right? The next they brought me back, and they fell in love with the character. They brought me back for another episode, where it went through that second season. I think I was in 7 out of the 10, and that's because I took that little ass role and I did the
Parlay.
best I did. Chappelle Show. I was not supposed to be on that show. There was no cast. Everybody's like, call us the cast. It was no cast. It was Dave and Neil had this show, right? And they could just put anybody on the show they wanted at the beginning. We had one actor in one scene. I remember he wasn't doing well. Wasted about an hour and a half of industry time, a lot of money. And where Dave and Neil would just say, you on the show, they said, you know what? Comedy Central says that everybody has to audition now. I had already did I'm Rich Bitch.
Right.
I could have been like, man, y'all know my work. I'm not auditioning. But I said, if I do that, guess what? I won't have a shot. So I went back in the audition room, murdered the audition, never heard that again. But I was only as good as my last sketch.
Right.
I was only as good as my last scene. It wasn't like they had to write stuff for me.
Right.
And my thing was, if you go hard enough, one thing, when you on a set, if you start ripping, same thing I say with Jaleel White, with Urkel, supposed to be in one episode. But if you rip, and you and them writers, now they start thinking about you.
Right.
Now they used to just like, okay, we're gonna bring them in.
Right.
Another thing, when I was on Chappelle Show, 90% of the things I was in, I wasn't even supposed to be in. I was broke. I knew that if I go on set, I get some free food. I get to hang out, and they're gonna tap me in.
Right.
Like 85% of the things that came out of my mouth on that show, it was all improv and me being in the moment, just hanging out.
I think you mentioned that you were supposed to have Michael K. Williams' role.
Yeah.
And you see what that role became. Did you like, damn, think about what could have been?
No, the reason why, because certain things happened. I was like, they got the best person for the job. And another reason why they had the best person for the job with him, because I wasn't gonna tongue kiss a big old
Dog, man.
They got the right one for that one. I was like, I just thought he was a gangster. I didn't know he was taking dick, son. But they wrote that in. I didn't write it in. But I was like, you know what? They got the best person for that job.
Right.
Another situation, there's a role, Katt Williams was here, right?
Yeah.
He talked, that role that he played, Alligator Man, on Atlanta, that role came to me and him.
Right.
I was still in the running for that. I was asked my agent, they said, you still in? You said, I ain't saying I was going to get the job.
Right.
But I knew I was still in the running for it. But certain times I look at people, I look at their skill set. And after the minute I found out that Katt Williams got it, I was not mad that
You didn't get it.
I didn't get it. I know how strong he is as a comic. I know how strong he is as an actor. That role, I looked at the role and the dynamic of it, and I know he would go all in. And I was absolutely right about Dave was a bad choice because he won an Emmy off with that role. But never once that I was envious or jealous. I was like back to the drawing board.
I remember when Michael K. Williams said that he was scared, he was conflicted about taking the role. And we hear now a lot about blacks putting on dresses,
Right.
playing those type of roles. Where are you on that? Where are you on that, Donnell?
I will tell you this. and you might edit this out, needs something to be mad about. And I hope you can keep that. Are not happy unless they mad about something.
Right.
How many, it's rich, bitter out here. They got everything, still have something to be mad about. You can make that argument, oh, the demasculation of a man, whatever.
Right.
You know who you are.
Right.
And really, the reason why that's so stupid to me, Flip Wilson. One of
Geraldine.
Flip Wilson. All right, this motherfucker wore a dress.
Right.
Guess what? He was owner of his show.
Right.
He was executive producer, and he knew who he was, and he knew it was a character. And I'll tell you another thing. They always talk about this dress shit, right? I'm gonna tell you when I was like, and I'm not saying, I know they'd be like, oh, that means he would put a dress on. Out of here. Ving Rhames played Holiday Heart,
Right.
right? Transgender, I hope I'm getting it right, character, Holiday Heart, right? I auditioned for that role. It's you, what was the line? So you are the bitches. It was because of you bitches that this bitch has been ignoring me for months. I remember that was part of the line, right? It was a dress. All right, whoever wants to say it's dress, go say something to Ving Rhames about wearing the dress. You ain't gonna do it. And what people don't understand is like, this is an art.
Right.
This is an art. Now, I'm not saying this for everybody. I'm not saying this for me. But I'm gonna tell you when it hit me, when I was like, man, who give a about what people say? I was doing an episode of Wild 'N Out. Pull up to Tyler Perry Studios. Military base. You been there?
I haven't been there, but I know what it's supposed to be.
Wait for you to go up in there. Military base. 8 lanes on each side of the studio. You drive through that shit. You go down, make a right. Harry Belafonte Studios, Oprah Winfrey Studios, Sidney Poitier Studios. And I look back, I was like, from a dress? From a dress?
Right.
I was like, I'm a size 8. But it's people that have too much time on their hand to make the argument. And I guarantee you, Shannon, the most people that talk that shit about blah, 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 look at what they're doing in life. It's probably a nigga that borrows his girl car, bring it back on E, blunt guts all over it. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. And any intelligent person will understand that it's all bullshit.
Right.
You know, you don't want to get caught. And I know that, oh yeah, he looked like he'll wear a dress. It ain't my thing. But I am not knocking somebody or judging them, somebody that does that. And especially in comedy. Now, if I pick you up, we going to the club. And you come out with a sequence dress, I'm like, yo, son, you gotta change that. Or at least change your heels or something, son. Put some Timbs on with that dress, nigga. You ain't gonna be going out here with us with that dress and them heels. Red bottoms.
But is that mainly in our community? Because you see Dustin Hoffman, you see and Robin Williams play that Miss Doubtfire, and I think Dustin Hoffman was in Tootsie. And you see so many other actors.
It's mostly it is definitely linked to our culture because Black culture is the most homophobic culture out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Certain like it's what it is. It's the way. I have a gay brother, right? And I asked my brother. I said, "Do you think I'm homophobic?" And he said, "No, I don't think you're homophobic, but I do think you're homo ignorant." And the reason why I was like, you know, I am ignorant. I'm not to say that I'm a bad person. The reason why I'm homo ignorant because I was raised by homophobic people.
Of course.
So how do I not be homophobic?
Correct.
I was raised with uncles that thought anything could make you gay. Don't eat cottage cheese, nigga. Nah, they getting you used to consistency. I'm telling you, that's the gateway. You're gonna be like, walk, walk, walk after that. Don't wear pink. That's what I grew up with. But I do think that our mindsets have evolved to a point where the things, I noticed that even in comedy, Shane, it was certain things that I could say 30 years ago, it would get a laugh from the audience.
Right.
Like easy laugh.
Right.
Go ahead, you know, whatever. You get a laugh. That doesn't exist no more.
That's like
I understand that the mindset of people in general have changed. My brother is my brother with my father had multiple kids, and And when I remember when my brother kind of came out, because when I was growing up, I just thought my brother had all the bitches.
Right.
Right. I didn't know he was like in that life or
Right.
I didn't, because I was so young, I didn't really connect with sexuality.
Right.
I mean, I was too busy trying to build bikes and shit like that. So with some time that went past, we had separated each other. As a young adult, I was at a comedy club in Hollywood and he came to the show and he said, we was outside, I was taking pictures, I was caught up in my moment. And I said, he said, you see that guy over there? I said, yeah. He said, that's your brother-in-law. But my father has so many kids, I thought he was introducing me to another brother. I'm like, man, I ain't got time for no more brothers, no more sisters.
Right.
It didn't hit me till later on. I went home. I said, oh shit, I think my brother just told me he was gay.
Right.
And I called my father. My father, I'm talking about a straight street dude, heroin kingpin in DC, whatever, like pool hall guy, straight. And I said, Dad, I think Chucky just told me he was gay. And my father said, man, I knew what he was up to. Like being gay was up to something. like yeah, I caught you behind the bushes, right? He said, I knew what he's up to. And this is when I said, the way people think in their mind is evolved. And for my father to make this statement right here, it means a lot to a person's character. He said, I knew what he was up to, but he said, he was speaking on my brother's boyfriend. He said, man, but that's a good nigga.
Right.
Right in that moment. And I knew that my father cared more about the character and the guy that my brother chose to be in love with than what anybody else can think. And I do think that mindsets have changed so much when it comes to that.
Right. Let me ask you this. The Chappelle Show. How did that come about?
The Chappelle Show came about.
Were you friends with Chappelle before the show?
Yeah,
Did you know?
Yeah, I knew him, but we knew of each other.
Okay.
Like going back to your question about the DC thing.
Yeah.
It's one thing about being a comic from DC. You always looked at the people that were before you and what moves they made. The first thing when you come from DC, the first sign that you really going for it when you moved.
Right. You got to leave DC.
You got to leave. It's not like now you be on the internet, you could be anywhere.
Right.
You had to go to New York or LA. So, and when I came out the gate, Shannon, when I tell you, first time I ever touched the microphone, I got a standing ovation. Wow. I was doing comedy for 5 months and I made Def Comedy Jam. I was on fire. And Dave, this is on record, Dave telling this story. Somebody asked Dave, at my 50th birthday, they asked Dave, Chris Spencer asked Dave, he said, where'd you meet Donnell? He said, I'm gonna tell you where I first met Donnell. He said, when I used to be in DC, he said, I was the guy. And I would leave, I would be in New York, I would come home, and I would always ask, who's the up and coming, who's smoking? And Dave said it was always the regular names, Fat Dr. Andy Evans. But the owner, Barbara, RIP, rest her soul, she said, Dave, but there's this one guy named Donnell Rawlings that's on fire. And Dave, the competitive nature he is, he said, that nigga. And then when somebody asked me, when I asked that same question, I said, who was popping? Who's got his smoking? They was like, Dave Chappelle. I was like, so what's so nice about him? It's like, he's smart, you know, he's animated, he's a good actor. They said all this shit. And I was like, I felt the same thing. I was like, man, fuck him. It was like a healthy competition. So we knew of each other. But my connection with Chappelle Show, it was Neil Brennan. Neil Brennan was a producer or an assistant for In Living Color when they were going out scouting talent. And he had me on a couple of audition tapes. And Neil Brennan and Dave had already wrote Half Baked, right? But the thing was, when they did that, Neil was popping as a writer. I think he sold 2 or 3 scripts to Hollywood, but his work wasn't being produced. It wasn't getting green lit. He was getting the money, but he wasn't getting the green light. So he wanted to direct. He called my manager and said, I really like Donnell. I did this short film. I would like for him to be in it.
Okay.
It's just me, a camera, me and one other person, whatever. And he said, I want him to do it. He said, I don't have no money to pay him, but I'd like for him to do it. But this was the time I was on, already started, The Wire was on the corner. I was like, I know you can't afford to pay me, but if you're ever in a situation where you could throw me a bone, I'd appreciate it.
Right.
But I'll do it. I did it. Maybe 2 months later, he said, I'm working on something. Neil Brennan said, I'm working on something. I'm gonna let you know. I was like, I'm busy, whatever, right? I was like, what's the show? Name of the show? He said, we don't have a name for it. A month after that, Neil called me and said, I want you to be on this show. And that show, and a lot of people don't toss back. That show that he promised if he ever was in a position to look out for me, it was a Chappelle Show. And of course, I couldn't have been on the show without the approval of Dave. But Dave was wanted to work with people that he just thought were funny.
Right.
He didn't really know me as an actor. It was just like, these are the guys. But Neil Brennan was definitely instrumental on my connection with that show.
I try to tell people this, that the one thing that I know about in this business now, the entertainment side of it, and when you have advertisers and sponsors, it's all about relationships.
Yeah.
If you do not have relationships, you're not going to go very far in this business.
Not go far.
It's really that simple, because a lot of times the people that are in position now weren't in those positions years ago, and they were smart, and they remember how people treated them when they couldn't help them.
Let me tell you something. I'm nice to 33-year-old. Yo, 33, 35, and the reason why I say that, they was 12. They was 12. When I told my agents, yo, let's go for these 33-year-old executives. They were 12 watching the show. A lot of the work that I get now is like this. Man, I used to watch a show with me and my dad. And you starting relationships early on. I'm like, these guys, and I feel, and I get this a lot of times. Oh, he's riding Dave's coattails, Dave's flunky, all of this shit, right? Oh, if it wasn't for Dave, guess what? Dave had, his production company is called Pilot Boy Production. The reason why it's called Pilot Boy Production, because Dave had like 11 or 12 pilots before Chappelle Show. They always gunned for him. He was always getting shot. But for some reason, if it wasn't the right chemistry, the right team, it wasn't happening. It was the Chappelle Show that came together, and that was the one. Yes. So as much as you want to say, it wasn't for Dave, guess what? If it wasn't for the team that Dave built, he wouldn't have won a championship. Right. You give Jordan all the credit. He's the star. He needed rebounds.
Yep.
He needed somebody to push that ball out.
Somebody to play
He needs somebody to say it. So as much as people want to say that, yes, that show was a platform for me, but I brought it. There's not a scene on that show that I didn't pop.
Right.
If you listen to some of the most iconic phrases on that show came out of my mouth.
Right.
It was their writing, but as much, and I'm forever grateful for what they did to me, but I know that I wasn't a bum.
Right.
I put in work.
You carried your weight.
And I always tell people, if I say my career is, if you want to compare it to anything, and I just go to hip hop artists, Busta Rhymes. You might not remember too many of Busta Rhymes albums, but you know when he came on the track, he was up and he was going to bounce.
Right.
And that was my relationship with that show.
You know what? That's what I hate when they say, oh, you riding his coattails, or if it wasn't for him. But the question is, if I'm not successful, what would you have said? I ain't got no talent. You know what I'm saying? They say you rode Dave's coattail. It was all because of Dave. Now, if the show is not a success, you're not a success, what are you going to say then? You're going to say, you just ain't have no talent. Now that it's successful, you're going to say it's because of somebody else. You don't want to give me the credit.
Once we get the power of not giving a that is, you think about it, the most successful is the ones they get to a point
they don't give
a
They care less.
But when you got heart, which I do have, and then when you care about what people think, which I do have, I think about that. And then because of social media, you get to instantly tell how people feel about you. You slide in comments, you get about it. But once you get to that point where you don't give a that's when your shit start to pop.
And then when you don't care, you see how he turned his back on the people that helped him get to where he got to?
That's why I have the notion. The notion. I do that. Like, you know what? Once I get to play, that's it.
Yeah. So when you started the Chappelle Show, could you have envisioned that it was going to be what it became?
Now, I'm going to piggyback on what you said about earlier. The Wire, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Chappelle Show, I knew. And the reason why I knew a Chappelle Show, because I was the warm-up comic on that show.
Okay.
Like when I say warm-up comic, like when we did the wraparounds in the studio, I was the first person you ever saw on that show. It was my job to go out there and get the audience warm.
Good. Yep.
So I knew, I could feel the energy from that audience. I knew it was gonna blow. And another thing, I used to call Neil every time episode, because I used to be like, I was in the streets. I was still in the streets, still in Brownsville, Brooklyn. And I was like, I would call him, I'm like, yo, I was talking to the streets today. And they'd be like, what the streets say? I'll say, the streets say that shit was funny as shit.
Right.
Because, Dave has had a level of success. For the most part, Dave, earlier in his career,
Dave been a prodigy.
he's been a prodigy. And then he had a level of success way before a lot of us. And we say that all we wanted to do when we first started was to work a college circuit and make money.
Yeah.
He was a king of that. They loved him. Main Street loved him and everything. But for some reason, at that point, his stuff was not resonating with the streets like that.
Right.
He was like, why you give about the streets? Whoopi Goldberg, Mel Brooks, all these people. Okay, but I just felt a certain energy when I go to the barbershop, when I used to talk to like some real street. And Dave was fascinated with that.
Right.
Neil and Dave was like, what did the streets say? Because they know what the executives say, what the streets say. And every week I would just predict what the rating was going to be. It was over, it kept going bigger and bigger. And even like another reason on that show, if you're a historian on that show, you notice every time I did a character, when I come on, people just went crazy. The reason why they went crazy, because I was the warm-up comedian before the sketch. So they would be connected to this stand-up comedian, and then, oh shit, so it was a bigger laugh. That's why when Beautiful came on, that's why when Ashy Larry came on, it came off a bigger laugh because they're laughing at somebody that made them laugh before they even saw him in the sketch.
How did you come up with the character Ashy Larry?
The character on paper, he was just a guy that had boxers on and dress shoes and stole his girl's money. But I knew on that show that I didn't get a lot of time to talk. So I knew that any character I had to physically be funny before I even say anything. Because I'm not gonna, if you had an editor on a timeline, how much time I talked on that show, I didn't talk a lot.
Right.
But I knew that I wanted to be funny on site. So I went to Donnell, he was a makeup guy. I told him, I said, give me some baby powder, right? I said, I want to be so ashy, I could write how much money people owe me on the side of my leg. I wanted to be the ashiest dude. That when you see me go back and get the trash bag, that was real trash. I was like, how do I get the most out of this with the least amount of time? In fact, when we did World Series of Dice, that was the first time we had somebody outside of what was becoming the cast.
Right.
Charlie, Dave, Eddie Griffin was in that sketch. That sketch I wasn't supposed to pop that sketch. It was for Grits and Gravy. It was for them. But I just couldn't stop. It was just something that I was possessed with something. I remember Charlie looked at me, he said, do you know what you're doing to this shit? I was like, I don't know. He said, man, you killing this shit. And I just went crazy because I knew I might not be here next week.
Right.
Eddie Griffin even said something to me. He said, Donnell, you know what I like about you? In this show, and in particular, he said, you're not afraid to get ugly. I want to say I'm not too far from it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever called me fine. Right. You know? I was like, but he was like, just that person to get dirty, don't give a fuck about what nobody think. And then I knew that I was just fighting to be on another thing. But that's how the character was there, but I put the hot sauce on it.
Right.
Yeah.
The show is having success beyond, I mean, you thought it was going to be successful, but it probably at this point is even surprising you with the level of success that it's enjoying.
Yeah.
And then you find out that Dave is going to step away.
Right.
Did he talk to you? Did he talk to anyone about that? Or
No. It just broke out. But I felt, we got to realize that was going into the third season. Me and Charlie, we so excited. We got the Rich Bitch Tour going on. We going back to the third season.
Right.
You know, it's a chance that it might be a situation where we can make more money. But we just excited about it. But I knew it was something weird because the last sketch I saw him in, it was this show where we played monsters. I played a mummy, he played a wolf, and Charlie played Frankenstein, whatever, right? And me and Charlie just having fun on set. We kicking it. And I saw Dave, he was a werewolf. And he was just looking like and he said, I guess 50 million is not enough. And I would look at him like, who you talking to? 50 million not enough. I take the zero. You can take 3 more of the zeros off. I'm good with it. And I didn't know that what was troubling, but that was just for somebody that's still me, still coming up, not used to having no big money or anything. I was like, I don't even understand how anybody can say, I guess 50 million is not enough. I didn't understand that. And then he disappeared. Not communicate with me. But you got to also realize when we was doing the show, me and Dave weren't the best of buddies. I try to keep my relationship, be co-workers. I don't want to be all like, hey, buddy.
Okay.
Just let me go do my job.
Do my thing and then
keep it moving. So we never, even that time, we hung out after the show. We really got connected after the show, after he came back. But like he disappeared. And it was so funny because I told Neil didn't know where he was. And I said, man, I bet you he probably went to Africa. And Neil was gonna be like, why would you say that? Well, I remember we were in the green room one day. It was me, Dave, Mos Def, and Dave was, I think Mos Def was a real estate agent in Africa because he was trying to get everybody to come to Africa. I wanted to say, yo, you can't get all of Brooklyn to come to Africa because then Africa becomes Brooklyn. Make it a secret or whatever, right? But I just had this weird feeling that he probably went there. Then cut to maybe 2-3 days later that they announced that he was in Africa. But for us, I never thought, I didn't know what the severity of what his thoughts were. I never thought that he wasn't gonna come back. In fact, when he left, we was like this, all right, we can go back on tour now.
Right.
Because we had
thinking he was gonna come back.
Yeah, we was like this, oh man, yeah, let him take 3 months off. I'm just thinking about the money we gonna stack up to come back. But he never came back. And he never communicated anything to me.
Do you believe there was a number that he would have been willing to come back from, or he was just over being underpaid for such a long time that he's like, 50 million, if y'all gonna pay me 50 million, how much are you guys actually making?
I don't know. That's a tough question that only
Dave could probably
answer. But at the same time, I know he loves money, but he's not driven by money. You know what I'm saying? I think that it was more than likely something morally he didn't agree with.
Right.
But I don't think that his decision to walk away was just the money. But I think that when he came back, it's like, no, give me my money.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think that it was that.
When you did the Blacks Get Reparation skits, Prince, the skits are classic. The Rick James, the Prince. Did you, when you're like on set and you seeing him doing these skits, because I can just imagine to hold it together.
Yeah.
Did you ever
We never held it together. We never held it together. Boy, we blew so many takes. It was so many takes that we would always start up with what we had on paper, right? But then he's so genius with sketching. It was always like, yeah, that's what's on there. But he always had something in his back pocket. He always had a drawer full that he was going to throw something. And then after a while, he kind of trusted us to get kind of loose and add that element to it. But it was, I guarantee you, half the stuff that was written on that paper never made it. And we just got loose with it.
Is that what makes him so good? And most comedians have this ability, is that their ability to improv. Yes, it's on there, but if you let me do it my way, Katt said that, let me do it my way, and I promise you it'll be 10 times funnier.
But you can't always, but see, that's the problem, that everybody's not going to agree to that.
Right.
And the reason why that, you got writers that are getting paid a lot of money. It's kind of insulting if you just basically saying, I'm going to do all of that. Some people, that's the only way they can work.
Right.
But even in our case, we never want to disrespect the writers.
Okay.
We would do what Brian Tucker and Neil and put on paper. Then it was like this, okay, let me get one. You know what I'm saying? But no, you're not going to have too many sets. It's going to let you do whatever you want.
Just improv.
Yeah, because then now you start doing that. Now they got to pay you as a writer.
Right.
There's a bunch of things. But it wasn't. But the thing about working with him is that he makes you go harder. It makes you want to be the best that you can be.
Is it true that R. Kelly said goons at Chappelle?
I don't know. I don't know if it's true that R. Kelly's sent goons, but I know we had goons too. So it was going to be a goon interaction. It was going to be a goon encounter. Yeah, it was going to be a goon convention, but I don't know too much about that. But damn, man, that was another thing. We was like, it was the show was fearless. It's like, we're going to say what we want and not care about what you think, but we do the funny first and deal with it after that.
Could there be a Chappelle Show today?
That would be a tough one. That would be a tough. I think certain things, I don't know if there could be a Chappelle Show, but it would be interesting if there was a one-off.
Yeah.
Just But it's just so hard because now you gotta.
Today's society is a lot different than today.
But it's about to change, though, Shannon. It's like I think it is. I think that the idea of cancel culture is about to be dead.
Good.
People getting frustrated with that, and after a while, we went through that stage. You can't say this, can't say that, but people are getting sick of that. If anybody would be able to pull it off, it would be him. But I think that it's going to be time for us to get back to like not concerning ourselves what you think, but what we think is funny and put it out there.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I read that you what's that? In Living Color.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, I mean, Chappelle before Chappelle.
Yeah, what about the Living Color?
Didn't you audition for that?
I auditioned to it. I did audition for it, but I was green. I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
I auditioned for that. I was, like I said, when I first started, I came out hot, but I was green.
Right.
I was funny as a stand-up, and I had a couple of little quirky little characters and things I was doing that was different from everybody else.
Right.
But I wasn't ready for In Living Color. I auditioned for Saturday Night Live. That's where I met Neil. And in fact, that audition I did a Saturday Night Live, Tracy Morgan was on that same audition.
Okay.
And he got it.
Right.
I was a guy that told a funny story, but did not understand when they say we need 3 original characters, what that looked like. I was telling long stories. And I remember Tracy Morgan, he did a character, a black hockey player.
Yeah.
And it was a very simple character, but he really committed to the character, like he had the little things and everything.
Yeah.
And I saw he looked like a sketch actor, but I wasn't ready for that. Yeah.
But so you didn't understand. You understand now. Now you probably go on an audition. You understand they send you the format, what they're looking for.
Yeah.
You go in there, you know what they're looking for. You become that.
Yeah, but back then, I was only getting shots because I was funny as a stand-up.
Right.
But again, I wasn't trained. I didn't know what I was doing. And when I look back, I was like, oh, if I was prepared for that, I probably could have got it.
Right.
But it wasn't. I always say it's a tortoise in the hair. I've been a tortoise for so long. I don't have a problem with the slow route, how it's going. As long as I get my money now and keep going, I'm good.
Comedy Central moves in a different direction. They do Key and Peele, which does a lot of what you guys were doing.
Right.
Did you feel any sort of resentment where you like, bro, y'all, that's us. All they did is Key and Peele, but you guys are doing what me, Chappelle, and Charlie Murphy would do.
No, I don't believe that. The reason why, everything has a moment in time.
Okay.
You're going to compare it, first off, to try to replace that time slot and everything. Of course, you're going to compare it. But there's no way. A lot of the Key and Peele stuff has been coming up on my timeline lately. Mm-hmm. And I was like, they were so funny.
They were.
They were so funny. And it could have been reversed. They could have came before Chappelle Show,
right.
And it would have been reversed. I think it was a timing thing. I think that they was in one of the toughest spots you could be to come behind a show that became so much part of pop culture. Mm-hmm. And then I know everywhere they went, they was like, oh, y'all trying to be Chappelle Show. It's sketch comedy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's something to be said for there was 2 actors that read all these things. You know, in the moment, people like, same time slot, whatever. But
right.
I don't. But
it had to be good because it stayed for an extended period of time. So
they had to be good. They could have just trying to prove a point to Dave. Like, we got another nigger, we're good. You know how those people upstairs are. No, just joking.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let's just say for the sake of argument, Chappelle Show is going.
Uh-huh.
And we got the thing going on with Diddy. Would y'all have poked fun of that?
I'm pretty sure. We poked fun of Diddy before Diddy was Diddying. If you notice,
fun of the man before the man was Diddy.
If you notice, Dave played Diddy and he had a lot of baby on his lips. Dave knew something that we didn't know. Dave knew something. That oil was gonna come in. Dave had 1 bottle of baby oil in that scene. Take that. Of course we would have, because we would have made fun of the things that's happening right now. Well, that'd have been a tough one.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out,
But who haven't trafficked? Shannon?
A lot of people.
You ain't never trafficked nobody.
Hell no.
I know you're going to say the right thing right now.
Ooh, ain't no right
I know you're going to say.
Ain't no right thing right now, tomorrow, yesterday. No, ain't no trafficking going on. No. Hold on.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay. You.
Yeah.
Successful athlete.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
A little bit of money, not a lot.
Don't try to downplay it.
I got a little bit.
Bunny hopping. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Not one time
I've been to the sister.
in your successful life, you have not flown someone in with the intentions of having sexual intercourse with them.
My girlfriend.
You should be a lawyer. God damn, you smart. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Hello. Is it true you were sitting between Diddy and Russell?
Nah, see, first off.
Okay, so get to the second part.
Okay, the second part. First off.
Okay.
All right. What I'm trying to tell you is, all right. Let me explain something to you. Yeah. No.
Hold on. Let me take a look.
Nah, I'll take a shot. I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you. It's a photo that's going viral. That 10 years ago, Shannon, would have been a photo that would have been iconic, and people that wish they was in that picture. It wasn't until after the freak off shit that now picture looks suspect. But you look at that picture, Shannon, you see it different from me. What I saw in that picture, first off, I saw 8 successful black men.
Okay.
I was there talking about friendship, creating Jennifer.
Why you sitting between your legs?
Can I finish the goddamn shit I'm saying?
Can I get another drink? Because I want to hear this story.
It's just my truth. Which is, I saw black excellence in that picture.
That's what you saw?
All right, first off, this how it happened.
Okay.
This how it happened. They was hating on me. I was on that boat, that yacht, and I was up. Right? I was really.
You remember what happened?
Don't you try and say, nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
You say you were messed up.
I know. Don't talk about that memory shit, all right? I don't mind when you hear that. I knew exactly what happened, which was nothing, but I was lit. I knew I was lit. You know I knew I was fucked up, because Diddy looked at me like, damn, somebody get this off the boat.
Right.
I was lit. And so they was really everybody was mad. I was having a good time. And they was trying to take this picture, right? And everybody was taller than me. They was trying to block me out. They was already frustrated with me, right? So I did, and it was a situation like this. I swooped around, went into the front of the picture, and I did like this. I did not know this nigga was right here, behind me. And you know what? Why you asking me to tell you my story, and you don't want to hear my motherfucking story? Or you could have just said, no matter what you said, you was in between his legs. And I wasn't in between. It was the depth. Camera people, it was the depth of the photo. What do y'all call that shit? When it's not focused and it's blurry, it was that.
It wasn't blurry enough we couldn't see you.
Yo, I didn't know. Listen, man. I had a good time on that boat, all right?
Yeah.
I left.
Most people that was at these situations.
It's the difference.
Oh.
That was a family. It was family. My son was on that goddamn boat.
I already see him in the picture. I'm just saying,
See, this is when we talk black on black crime right here. and this is why I love that you in my standing routine. Now, I'm going to get you back. I got you. Oh, I'm going to send you some videos. I was waiting for this. Let's go. No, it's too late. Don't cop a plea now. It's on and popping. Come on, Katt. No, Katt. Come on.
No.
I got a whole 20 minutes.
But I'm just saying. But look, in all seriousness,
what?
You have defended.
I defended who?
The parties that you didn't know what.
First off, it's different parties, all right?
Right.
I didn't defend no party. I defended what that was, all right?
Yeah.
And that was family oriented.
But you don't remember a whole lot that
You know what? Let me get a drink. Because I'm not going to let you do this. I am not defending. What I'm saying is, of course, there have been freak-offs. And of course...
How you know?
I read the same blogs you read. I read the same... How I... God damn, you just nigga turned to a lawyer. No, I'm saying, okay, word is on the streets.
Okay.
Right? Everybody knows freak-offs. Everybody know Hollywood is Hollywood. I don't understand why all these motherfuckers act like, oh my God, they had a mansion party and they had cocaine and all these orgy drugs and stuff. Why do people don't know? I'm not saying you got to be a part of it, but why is this whole thing is like, I can't believe they were doing that in Hollywood. And I understand Katt Williams came up here, and it's part of my routine. I said, Katt Williams on this couch for 3 hours and his feet never touched the ground. That's the first thing I said, right? Y'all didn't see the same thing I saw? Y'all didn't see that?
You know Katt coming back?
I don't give a Why they give Am I scared of Katt Williams? No. For what? He probably come back. Start your year off right. But I know his feet was like this the whole time. And I told him, and I don't disrespect him, whatever, but in part of my routine, I said, Katt wasn't a funny person. Everybody think it was funny. You was the funniest because it didn't matter what the Katt Williams said. You said, oh, come on, Katt, you can't say that. I'm like, he just said it. No, give me a card. Give me a card. You was like this. Oh, come on, Katt. No, Katt, come. Oh, Katt, come on, no, Katt. Oh, they ain't gonna. Oh, Katt, these my friends. Katt, no, come on, Katt. Katt. Ocho. Hey, skip. Ocho, see the difference between me and you is you wear your watch to tail time. All right? And I wasn't every party Diddy had, and I wasn't at too many. Okay, wait. I was at, okay. How you helping? You the cameraman, man, what you doing? No, I'm just saying, I don't know that side of it. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not defending anything. What I'm defending, what that incident was, he does a party every Christmas holiday, St. Martin, St. Bart's, whatever it is. And it
gifts
was
exchange? Or gifts exchange?
We had dinner.
Okay.
No gifts was exchanged. It was just a vibe.
Okay.
I was there, we was vacationing with Dave. It was just a vibe. We went over there, it was a vibe. And the thing, I'm gonna tell you, the thing that I did like about it, that party was that Kimora was there.
Yeah.
Kim Porter was there.
Okay.
My baby mother was there. Dave's kids was there. And I was, the only thing I saw, and I don't know what happened to anything else, what I saw was a vibe.
Okay.
What I saw was a good thing. And that's what I'm saying. Anytime you say anything about, oh, you're defending, I'm not defending. I don't know nothing about the free parties. But I do know, right? Damn. Nah, because you about to get crazy. No, I can tell. I got to get loose with this shit. What I'm saying. Go ahead and say it. That's how Diddy parties start, right? No, I'm just saying. Let me put my time back on. I know you about to say some slick shit. No. Yeah, that's how it gets you. Take the time off, start throwing your shit around. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying was, what I know was that was family joint and was cool. People can make out what they try to make it to seem what it was. That's not what it was for me. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not here, I cast no judgment. I don't look at you with judgy eyes. That's your story.
If you could do a close-up, those are very judgy eyes right there. Yo, your eyes judgy as shit. Anytime you take your glasses off and wipe your shit off, them judgy eyes.
Man, cause I've been crying, man. You had me up here crying.
No, I'm just saying it is what it is. I know I said no Diddy.
Yeah.
I said it.
So
you know he coming home, right?
I don't know, man. I don't look, honestly, I don't pay attention to that stuff.
I know you don't.
I don't. Cause I'm sorry for the people that was impacted by it, but that ain't got nothing to do with me, man. I ain't never been to nobody's house
Why
party.
the fuck you asked me?
Cause the picture.
No, you could have just, if you really
they say using the picture like this.
I wasn't like that, son. I wasn't like that. I was in it like this. I was like this. I was in like the most interesting man in the world, son. I was like this. I was doing real shit. Who want to drink? That's what I did.
But it was the fact that you between the man's legs, though.
The nigga legs, I wasn't in between his. He was right there.
Yeah.
I was right here.
But you laid down like
I wasn't like. I didn't even know he was back there.
How you not know he was back there? You snuck in the picture.
This is what I just said. All these people right here.
Yes.
I can't see who in the front, Shannon.
Okay.
I can't see who in the front. So I'm running around the side. I couldn't see. I didn't even know he was here. I turned around.
It just so happens. You photobomb and you between the man's legs.
You know what? I photobomb and I was in an awkward position. You don't got to say between somebody's legs. That's what I'm saying. You got the wrong wordplay. I photobombed and was in a situation where people perceived to be very suspect.
Okay.
Or as the kids say, sus. That's what it was. You can take.
How would you perceive it? If you're not the person that's, how would you perceive it?
I would look at, if I saw that picture, I would say, you know what? It looks like black excellence is in this photo, right? And these guys was having a good time and it slipped into a compromising position. That's what I did, son. No further questions.
Is it a situation, hold on. Is it ever a situation where the Hollywood parties, everything is...
Why you asking me about Hollywood parties now?
Because you know you Hollywood.
I didn't. I live in the country, man.
You don't live in LA?
I do not. I live by a creek. I go kayaking.
You spent 10 years, 15 years in Hollywood.
I never was a part of Hollywood like that. Why you asking me Hollywood questions? Okay, ask me the question. What?
Are any Hollywood parties on the up and up where you just go have hors d'oeuvres, you have a good time, maybe, and just...
All of them are. At 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh. But you get there at 2:15 though.
My mama told me it would be days like this. She told me don't get caught up. She didn't say shit, but she said don't get caught up in Shannon's shit. That's what she said. And she said don't drink the yak. I don't know. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Why do people act like they don't know what the Hollywood is about?
Especially, are you saying, you can't expect a person that's not in Hollywood to know what Hollywood's about. But the people that are in Hollywood definitely know what Hollywood's about.
The people that's not in Hollywood know what Hollywood is about.
How?
Because they hear the stories. You have a lie. Are we gonna be real?
Yeah, let's be real.
All right. What you're doing is not being honest.
I've never been to a party, so I can't tell you what's going on there. I can't tell you what's being served. I can't tell you the location. I can't tell you anything because I've never been there. It would be dishonest of me to say, yeah, I know that's what's going on.
All you know, those Hollywood, I've been to some.
Careful. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
I've been in a situation.
You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you. Do you understand these rights if you've been written to them?
I plead the fifth. I will just say this. I've been to parties that I was like, it felt like a regular party.
Right.
And then I also been to parties I feel like it's probably a good time
for you to leave
or partake.
Damn.
I'm not a partaker.
Oh. So you left?
It was one time.
Did you leave?
What are you talking about?
The parties, when they get crazy, do you leave? Did you leave?
What was the next question?
What about?
I stayed for 10 minutes.
But that's what normally happens.
I peeked in.
But that's what normally happens.
I peeked in.
Donnell, you know, hey, I'm only gonna
peekaboo.
I'm only gonna stay for 10 minutes. You know, you ever go to a party? Hey, look here, guys. We only gonna be here for 10 minutes.
Right.
10 minutes. 10 turn to 30, 30 turn to an hour there, you there all night.
All right, Shannon, what do people go to Hollywood for? What do people, I just find it hard to believe. And I am not, because people are like, oh my God, you're saying, I just find it hard to believe that as long as Hollywood has been in existence, as long as all type of crazy shit happens, I just find it hard to believe that nobody know that when it's about to start popping.
Oh. Is it a situation that because Hollywood...
Can you change your voice?
Okay. What do you want me to say?
You got To Catch a Predator voice right now. that go drink another drink. Go back to funny voice. Nah, I don't want to hear that shit. No, fuck that. Nah, put some dramatic music behind this shit. I ain't come here for that, man. I ain't coming here for that.
Hey, you gonna have to talk to CJ about the score that's gonna go
I already know what it's gonna be. Slow motion and everything. I know what it's gonna be.
But maybe it's a situation. Hollywood, like a lot of times, it was our counterparts that had these type of parties.
Our counterpart, white people?
Yes.
Yes.
Now it's being alleged that someone that's from our community was having these types of parties.
I think our people in our community have this part, but they this at a different scale.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's at different scales. I think our party just like have weed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got orgy drugs at his shit.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, orgy drugs is a whole different. You ain't gonna never start an orgy with a blunt. I've never seen somebody be like this. Yo, who gonna suck my dick first off of this blunt? All right, you don't want to. You are so smart.
No.
No, I'm just saying. You know when to disconnect from me in this interview or not. You're very smart.
No.
Because I know, because if you looked at me at that moment the right way, it would have gave the impression that you agreed.
No.
Yes, it would have.
I would have. Damn.
Go.
Nah, I'm just, ooh.
What?
Lord, have mercy.
I don't know nothing about no parties.
You don't know nothing about no parties?
I don't know nothing about no party.
Let me ask you this. A lot of times, you played.
Why are people so obsessed with these goddamn parties?
I think for the I don't know if people really thought that. They probably have heard.
You can't even have a white party now. Look what Diddy did, nigga. You can't even go see Frankie Beverly and Maze now.
Well, rest his soul.
Before I let you go into the freak off, can't even wear all white no more.
Well,
Damn you, Diddy.
Michael Rubin is taking over the white party now.
Yeah. I don't say those people in those high places. I just want hey boys and girls, don't come to Hollywood.
Right.
Hollywood is an evil, dirty place. If you don't have any indication of what this world is about, stay the away from it. Right. Don't be surprised by anything. And guess what? Don't go to a mansion party at 2:00 in the Hollywood Hills. I ain't saying that's going to happen. There's a chance of it. And got to let these motherfuckers know, don't be naive. You can't be naive. Nobody want to talk about that. You don't want to say what you could do to prevent this shit. So it's a tough thing. There's, like you say, with this, damn, if I say this about it or say that about it. But I do know Hollywood is an evil place. This job is evil. Entertainment, acting, the whole shit. I got a 9-year-old son that was talking to me about entertainment. He was like, Daddy, I want to do entertainment. And the first thing I did, any guy would be like, oh, he wants to follow my footsteps. First thing I told my son was, 95% rejection. They're going to be hating. People are going to be negative. It's going to be hard. You're going to get a lot of this is what I told him. Right, you can get a lot of doors slammed in your face. I was like, if you were built for that, then maybe. Why would you want to do it? Try to discourage him. He said, Daddy, because you inspire me. And I wanted to tell him.
Did you see that photo?
No, that's double the disrespect. No. I'm not going to let you continue.
Can I get some water? You want some water?
That was foul. Yo, I looked you in your face and said, my 9-year-old son, you blocked all that shit out.
No.
You blocked all that shit out. You ain't say, aw. You blocked all that shit out. You the type of would show my son that picture.
No.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
No.
Yo,
I would do that.
You think your father used to be Ashy? Look, there's a picture of him with baby oil on his face. That's what you do.
He never saw Ashy Larry.
He know Ashy. But I'm saying, you don't think you owe me an apology?
For that.
You just said, in a moment, I'm giving you a tearful, a serious moment.
You serious?
You didn't think I was serious.
You?
Going back to the joy of my life.
Okay.
All right. You want to give my son childhood trauma. I looked and I said, and he said, I cannot believe it.
I don't believe you.
Why you don't believe me? I did tell my son this, and he said, Daddy, because you
be truthful. You be a 100% honest right now.
100% honest.
Okay, let's go.
You already it up. You talk about let's go. Rewind, you already blew it.
Okay.
Did he see the picture?
No,
what I was trying to tell you is that what I was trying to tell you before I was so disrespected is that I don't encourage almost anybody to be in this business if you don't know how up it is.
Right.
You have to know. Now you want to do extra serious now.
No, but look, I think the thing is I think all of our kids, I think for the most part, normally like when doctors have kids, the kids like a lot of times you admire your parents that, they become a doctor or you become a lawyer.
Right.
Or if you're a professional athlete, father, kids see their father play football, basketball. That's what they want to become. So I'm not surprised that he wanted to follow in your footsteps.
Okay, but before I was so rudely interrupted.
Yes.
I didn't want to discourage him from following my footsteps, but
you did.
Can I finish my thought? This is my life and my son, man. What the fuck?
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Tell you about
But you did try to discourage him.
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
I said I like the idea, you like what daddy do, but why don't you focus, and you're gonna hate this.
What?
Why don't you focus on being a funny doctor or a funny lawyer? But this business is very evil.
Right.
Any woman that's thinking about this, yes, you can get it. Yes, you can be successful, but I'm not saying it's gonna happen to you, but it's gonna be that try you.
Right.
We gotta stop sugarcoating it. Motherfuckers don't do math. They don't do easy math. This plus this equals
That.
this. You don't wanna do that. Oh, why? I'm telling you what it is. Somebody said, this is gonna be very controversial. When the Bill Cosby was in the news for all this shit, somebody said, Donnell, but what would you tell your daughter? They was looking serious like you looking at me, right? They said, what would you tell your daughter? I said, I would tell my daughter this. It's gonna be hard for you to take. If a man sends an SUV for you at your place in the hood, takes you to the airport, you're on a first class flight, you get off that flight, you go to baggage claim, it's a with the sign with your last name on it, get in another SUV, go to the Four Seasons with a 3,000 square foot crazy ass suite, chocolates and champagnes, whatever. Bitch, that's not an audition. And a motherfucker's gonna try to get you.
Right.
You can't say that, oh, what are you saying? I'm telling you, that's the reality of it. I'm trying to tell you, this is what I would say. I'm trying to tell you shit that men do.
Right.
So it won't be a surprise to you. Oh, I thought that what he meant. No, it don't mean that. It could mean that, but here's the equation. This plus this could equal that. And I don't want you to be a part of that equation. I would tell her straight up. And also, I would be in my daughter's life enough that no man could ever excite her or do something that I can't do that could persuade her to do something that she don't want to do. But when you start talking about real shit, everybody be like, oh, you victim blaming. Say the reality of it. If the non-reality is not working, let me tell you the reality. Bitch, don't get on the airplane. You can't say that, oh, no. There'll be people eating me up with this shit right now.
Right.
I don't have no career like that. But but to be honest, truth is, let's tell the reality. Even when Katt Williams did that explosive interview, everybody's talking about, Katt Williams did not say nothing that people don't already know about Hollywood.
Right.
Where's the lie? Okay, there's no lie, but what is the truth getting you? What did we get from that? What'd you get out? Stay out the parties. You can't say that. I'm wrong for saying that shit. And I'm going to be in my daughter's life enough where I can't dangle shit and get her excited about that. But when you say that, oh, you can't say that. When Bill Cosby says shit like, you know, it's troubling, and I know people they can say what they want, that fathers not being fathers. When you address that shit, nobody want to deal with the real reality. The real reality is, what the are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing here? You know this is not it. And it is people that will get success in this business for hard work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there. I don't want to discourage anybody that has dreams to be an actress or actor. There are people who get it the right way. And there's some people that's going to suck a dick to get to the top. And there's going to be a position for everybody. I'm not saying I'm hiring, but that's the reality. I'm not saying that. And I'm going to tell you, you know who's really up about this movement? The real hoes. The real hoes are fired up. Oh, I got to go to acting school? Fuck us down. I was just ready to be like, waka, taking the shortcut. There's options.
Right.
But I wouldn't care, especially on the female side of it. But I will say this, Shannon. One of the good things about all this shit that's happening with Diddy, all this shit that's happening with the Me Too movement, they're checking themselves.
Right.
Like, as wild as it used to be. I'm not saying I'm guilty of a lot of crazy shit, but years ago, 25 years ago, I'd go to a set, I would have no problem saying, oh, you look nice in that dress.
Right.
You
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't say
You
that.
can't say none of that. Oh, you look nice. I see you. Ooh, ooh. But now, and this is where I know the Me Too movement, and this is the beauty of what's going on, and the beauty of these guys getting caught in this shit and going to jail and this Harvey Weinstein shit, is that now you see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the reality of it, that shit is out there.
Right. Let me ask you this. Do you think people, because you were able to do this, because a lot of times when people are in situations, success of a Dave Chappelle show, and you're playing, basically you're the Robin to his Batman.
Why I gotta be Robin?
Well, Dave was the lead.
So I ain't never been Batman in nothing?
No, I just said Chappelle.
Okay, go ahead. You already showed me a level of disrespect, so I don't even know what.
Well, I'm just saying.
No, I already know. Go ahead.
I mean, you.
Okay, I'm Robin. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm so lucky to work for Dave.
No, I ain't say so.
He gave me such a big break.
He did.
And he kept me out of those little freaky parties. All right, Shannon, go.
How do you explain?
I know a nigga about to say something when they do their hands like that. Yo, when they do that shit, it's coming home. All right, go ahead, continue, sir.
But how would you tell them? Because everybody wants.
How would I tell what? Let's go back.
Everybody wants to be, because
what?
You was on Chappelle. Chappelle's Batman. Now, a lot of times guys like, man, bro, I'm tired of being Robin. I want to be Batman. And they, leave, or they try to upstage.
Right.
Should more people be willing to play Batman? I mean, Robin.
The thing is, you got to realize Robin can get on too.
Yes.
And then the black community, this is the trouble in black community, black comedies, whatever. We only think it's only one nigga at a time. It's only one person. You can't share the stage. I'm saying, even though I don't have a problem, some people are comfortable being on the side.
Right.
Some people, their ego, they want to be the star. I don't care about being a star. I care about winning.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I know that I have moments where I'm my own Batman.
Right.
But I also know, I'm Batman. I know being Robin right now, this is a good look.
Right.
Guess who I'm beside? I'm beside him, and people get to see me. I do my own shows. I do my show. I sell out the comedy clubs, whatever. But yes, it's something to be said when Dave has me open for him, and we doing arenas of 20, 25,000 people with some of the biggest names in the industry, and I go up there and get a stand ovation before I go on and before I after it. I know there's advantages of being a Robin, but I know that I have my moments of being Batman. But that's when you have to put your ego aside. What 50 Cent says on every platform, one of the 48 laws of power. What's that book? Power.
48 laws of power.
It's like, don't upstage the master. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You know I know what my position is.
Right.
And when I'm around Dave doing shit, I won't even take pictures with people. I won't even take pictures with people because I don't want to give the impression that I know that's his space, his time, and I would have my time to shine.
Right.
People got to understand that. And relationship with Ben Robin has opened up the doors. Comedy Central, when I did my last special, Comedy Central, Robbie Praw, Ted Serrano, they had already decided that they was going to give me a special.
Okay.
There was already some talk about Dave producing special. They had already talked they were going to give me a special, right? That was already in the can. But also, now here's when Batman and Robin relationship pay off. Comedy Central, when I got that, they would have probably gave me, I don't even want to say the number was, but it would have been a type of number where I would have probably used half of that money on the budget to produce it, and I would have came back with a wop wop. Me waiting for Batman, I got 7 figures.
Wow.
That's a relationship that works. Everybody's not built for that. Everybody's not, and those people that can't handle it are the people that's usually envious and jealous. Mm-hmm. And I don't have no reason to be that way because I know, Dave knows, pound for pound, I'm one of the funniest out here.
Right.
I don't care what you want to say. I know that. People ask me all the time, Dave Chappelle's one of your favorite comedians? Ask Dave Chappelle who's in his top 5. And unequivocally, he would say that I was a part of that. And not because of one set, but because of seeing me over the years. Seeing me in some of the toughest situations. Seeing me at the Hollywood Bowl when that place hosts 18,000 people and they're late, it's only 900 people in that 18,000 joint. And then the head of Live Nation comes up and says, Donnell, good news, bad news. Well, you got 15 minutes. Only thing, there's nobody out there. So do you want to wait 5 more minutes or do you want to go now? I'm like, what the 18,000 people gonna come that quick? Give me the whole time. And Dave said one of the greatest sets he's ever seen. I jumped off that stage. 800, can you imagine what 800 people look like? And the 18,000 people? I went off the stage, went to each person in that audience, ripped the shit. Everybody in the green room come back up. Dave said, if I was teaching a comedy course, I would show people what it means to be able to stay in the pocket and do that. And this is, when I say this, and yes, I'm getting a little mad. Dave Chappelle did the outdoor cornfield shows when nobody else is doing shows. For 2 summers in a row, some of the biggest names in comedy came out of that cornfield. Guess who ended the show every time? Me. Wow. So when people want to talk shit like that to me, when people want to say, did your son see the picture you sitting between Diddy legs? I tell them, I remind them, that's who I am.
closed the show.
No, that's, I closed the show. But did Diddy close his legs? Go ahead. Wah, 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 wah. But that's just it. That's just it, you know. I know that I'm a funny guy.
Right.
I know that I've paid my dues. I know I've accomplished a certain amount of things, and I know there's a lot of other things that I could do. But one of the things I do know is I don't get caught up in the stupid shit that all these other comedians talk about, the dumb shit, stupid shit. I'm enjoying the journey. I enjoy the fact I call my own shots. I work when I want to work. And also, I've also realized I didn't go to college. The only really training I had was being a military police officer in the Air Force. I built a career for myself where at the end of the day, I could put my name on the marquee and people say, you know what, that guy's funny, I want to go see him. Anything else is extra.
What's some of the best advice Dave has given you?
Dave don't really give me advice.
You really?
Nah. He doesn't really give me advice. Just stay out of trouble. Well, he will say, Dave has told me this, you starting to level up. So as you starting to level up, you gotta be careful of shit because they will come after you. But he doesn't really, you gotta realize, Dave is the GOAT, right? I'm older than Dave, but Dave really has respect for me. He has respect for me as a comic, so it's not too much advice you're gonna give him. And when we talk, and like our relationship, it's not like our relationship, it ain't all about just comedy.
Yeah, y'all ain't really talking about,
You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
y'all talk about life.
people
y'all
come to me like, yo, I got this check, so I say, I don't even talk to Dave about none of that. Me and Dave talk about family. You know what I'm saying? Like our friendship is not just on that screen. We've been in funerals together. We've been in weddings. You know what I'm saying? When I had my first kid, you know what I mean? He saw the excitement that I had on those tour buses and shit like that. So our relationship is not just about that show. It's a real brotherhood.
Hold on. You live in Ohio?
What?
You're from the DMV. What made you decide to go to Ohio?
I got invited to a Diddy party.
No, Dave
I'm
lives
just
in
saying-
Ohio.
No, Dave lives in Ohio, but I'm gonna tell you, this what made me think about it. During the pandemic, when the whole world was shut down. The whole world was shut down. Nothing was moving in LA. You know what I'm saying? My baby mother was really getting on my nerves, like, and at a very tough time when nobody was working. I didn't know what the future of anything was gonna be. And Dave was one of the first person. He created a bubble out there. And it was in that time, that first summer, that time that I started really looking at like what's really important in life. And Hollywood shit didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, during the pandemic, if you didn't appreciate the simple things in life, like, you know, being in Hollywood and riding past the playground with no kids there, all that type of shit, if it didn't get to you and realize something else is out there, and I went out there to Yellow Springs, spent some time in the country, I saw how simple that life was, and I got it. I was like, why did anybody need to be in Hollywood now?
Did you think you could ever live that simple of a life?
Yeah, and the reason why, because my life is so chaotic anyway. I travel so much. I'm all in so many different places. I get my chaos there, but when I go elsewhere,
home, you
just want to chill. I want to look in the backyard and see a motherfucking deer.
Right.
I want to eat some of the shit you used to eat, like possums and
Raccoons,
turtles and all of that
rabbit,
crazy shit,
squirrel.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what it was. I was like, this the simple side. And Hollywood is not Hollywood anymore. It used to be a point where the only way you could make it, you had to be in New York or Hollywood. But you're an example of, you ain't got to be in Hollywood to do any of the things that you do.
No.
You can be wherever you want.
That's what digital is. That's what the internet
That's what digital
digitally
is.
has done.
And then what it also is, you bring it to me. Like I do a podcast, whatever, I'm building the numbers on that, but I'm like, eventually I'm gonna get that to a point where, you know what, I don't gotta work as hard as whatever, I better do that. But it was the simple life, it was that simple part of it. And then after doing it for over 30 years, it ain't too much shit that I haven't already done.
Experience that you
on the wild side. So, you know, I know different birds and shit now. Blue jays and canaries and shit like that. And I appreciate that shit now.
Cardinals. Canaries are not native to Ohio.
What?
Canaries are not.
What do you?
Cardinals. That's the red bird.
Oh, you a bird now? Oh, this Mr. Do everything. Yo, nobody knew what bird I was talking about. You had to take it to the origin of the bird. Okay, I grew up around gray birds. I grew up on gray birds. They was all gray. Pigeons. A canary, cardinal couldn't even make it in D.C. They get jumped. You ever seen a colorful bird in Brooklyn? Never. All gray birds.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You got some money. When you first got some good money, some decent money. Not when obviously any money you was making probably was a little bit more than you was making in the DMV. But when you got a good chunk of money, what did Donnell do?
Pay back all the I owed. Yo, I was on people's books. But the thing is, my grind has been just constantly. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Where it was no money to make some comfortable money, to be scared about this. But the crazy thing now is I'm going through a transition on learning how to have money, make money.
Right.
But I've always been like just teeting along, but it was never nothing. It was never nothing like, oh my God, I can't wait to blow money.
You never had no throwaway money.
Never did that.
Right.
If I won't say throwing that, I know this sounds crazy, but the weirdest thing, and I'll get over this, the best part of me making money is being able to help others and give other people. Right. When I was younger in the game, I was like, you know what money is gonna mean to me is that I would be able to take care of some people and make other people's life comfortable. Because where I'm coming from, it's not too many people can go through and say, even as simple as like, y'all get what y'all want, order whatever you want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it was never. And I'm not like a flashy guy or anything like that. I just do just simple shit. As long as I can provide for my son, my family, I'm good.
Does money mean different things to you now as opposed to say 25, 30 years ago?
No. I've never been excessive. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I did, when I was younger, I wanted to live like a drug boy without the chance of going to jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to have a nice car, dress nice, and I wanted to be able to go somewhere and not look at the tags and not worry about money.
Right.
You know, and I built enough now, that's where I'm at right now. But money is not my motivator.
Right.
The only thing I look at money now is for the future of my son.
Right. I had Marlon Wayans on about a couple of months ago, and he said when he wrote a show, he and Sean, and it didn't go through like he wanted to, and then Keenan came on and he made him write it 20 plus times again. Right. And I read that Dave made you rewrite your special 3 times.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was a rewrite, but it's so funny because Marlon gave me some advice once before. He said, Donnell, take a year off and just write. You can write your future. But the Dave situation was, this was during the pandemic, he really got close to my stand-up. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I want to do your special. I never approached him about doing my special.
Okay.
He said, I want to produce a special. He was just like, you deserve it. He came up with the idea of the home team, me, Lunell, Earthquake, Tony Woods, and that was it. And we shot this special. The first time I did a stab at it, it was in Charlotte, at the Fillmore Theater in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
But this was at the heels of the pandemic.
Right.
So it was just like the venue had a COVID protocol. Mm-hmm. You had to have vaccination cards and all this type of stuff. And we did the special, and I ripped the special, right? And me and Quake had announced our specials coming out. And then maybe like a week, maybe 2 weeks after we made the announcement, Dave calls me. I was about to go on stage in Baltimore. And he said, Donnell, I want to redo your special. And that's a very insulting question.
Yeah.
Say to me, because first you think it wasn't funny. Mm-hmm. I said, just tell me, how did I go from a standing ovation, chest bumping Stan Latham, to you want to do it over? He said, Donnell, I could put you in front of any audience and you'll rip it. It doesn't make it a great special. Right? Made a lot of sense. And you talked to a guy that already won like 4 Emmys, 5 Grammys. I said, I still don't know what that means. He said, look, you did a lot of COVID jokes. Netflix had turned away like half my audience because of not within the vaccination situation, and they had the mask. And he said, "I seen you do these jokes better than this." I said, "I've seen you do jokes better than what happened on a special." But I was already under gun because when you practice for a special, you're usually doing an hour.
Right.
This was during COVID. Nowhere I could go and do an hour.
Right.
Only place I could do was 15 minutes. So what I was doing was I had 4 15-minute shows, and hopefully I bring them together when it's time for it. But when I listened to him, and after he said that, it made more sense. He said, "We're going to do this. We got to knock it out of the park." And I was saying, "You still going to give me my money, right?" Yo, the check had already cleared, so we could do it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
That was the first time. Maybe 7 to 8 months after that, we were doing some shows in Napa Valley, and we were backstage. It was me, Dave, Ricky Hughes, who produced all his special, and Dave said, "Ricky, how many cameras do you have here?" She said, "We got 5. He looks at me, he said, "Do you want to shoot your special?" I said, "When?" He said, "Tomorrow." No announcement. We were just going to roll the dice.
Right.
We had the cameras, and I was excited about that because I didn't have to do a build up, inviting family. It's a Netflix presentation. We was basically going to do it with nobody knowing.
Right.
Caught another standing ovation. He hits me back. "I want to do it again." I'm like, "What the?" He was like,
Bro, just go ahead and tell me what's up.
"Yeah, that's what I want to say." But then he said, "I didn't like the production." I'm like, "You produced it." But what it was, he's very meticulous when it comes to production. And the thing was, it was like people walking around because we didn't have an audience person telling people don't go to the bathroom.
Right.
And he just didn't like the look of it. And I was like, all right, the next staff, I was at the New York Comedy Festival, and I said, let's just bring the cameras in here and do it. And that's when I think I nailed it. That's when the New Day, the special was good. I looked good. People liked the special. I talked about stuff that's evergreen because that first one, if you would play that first one today and saw COVID masks, you would already known it was shot in 2020.
Correct.
But the way we did it this time, you don't know.
Needed something timeless.
Timeless. It could be funny 5 years before and 5 years after. So,
negotiating. What have you learned about negotiating with companies like a Netflix, like a Comedy Central? You mentioned that Dave, produced a couple of your shows, and so obviously they take you serious when it's kind of like with anything. You hire an agency and you go negotiate with people, they take you serious like, oh, he ain't bullshit.
Because you have an agency behind you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like, but then I know this is going to sound crazy, but the traditional sense of negotiating, agencies, management, it's about to change. Okay. And the reason why I say that because the artists now have power now, where you needed an agent or manager to introduce you to this person and get this. Right. The power is in you having support, you having fans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A person that has 50 million followers on Instagram, what is a manager going to do for them?
Right.
Introduce somebody to take more money? I'm not saying in case you're not going to need that, but it's becoming more where the artists can negotiate their own thing. And the whole thing is knowing what your worth is. And then I've always been like, my negotiation, people always tell me, what's your price? I really don't. It all depends on what the need is and what it is. And I've never been a person that try to just hit you in the head. I try to build relationships with people for a long time, not for just one shot.
When Dave did the Netflix special, and he caught a lot of flack for the transgender joke.
So we ain't got no non-Dave questions?
Yeah, just one more. He's able to tell.
Can I call Dave? Tell his nigga to come and do this interview.
I reached out.
He said, "That's why I'm here." That's why I'm here. He's like, "Man, who the next nigga that was on the show?"
You know, you know Dave.
No.
The transgender joke. I've never seen
his joke or my joke.
His joke. I've never seen a guy, and even when he did the Saturday Night Live, that monologue that he did there, the way he can tell a story, the way he can weave you in and out. And you don't even realize it because I get what he was saying.
I really, really beg you to come see me live.
Where you gonna be at?
I'll let you know. But go ahead, continue with Dave again.
And Netflix,
Dave. No, I'm joking.
When he stood, Netflix stood behind him. And you mentioned something that this cancel culture before long is gonna be done away with.
Yeah.
Because you were giving people too much power. People that have built something over 25, 30 years,
Right.
and they make one mistake,
Right.
and it's gone.
Yeah, but see, it's only certain people can be canceled. Certain people can't be canceled. People that don't lie. So, first off, what cancel culture wants to do, they want to stop your bread.
Okay.
First they want to do, they can't wait to say, the agency dropped him. So-and-so dropped it. They want to stop your money. When they're powerless when they can't stop your money.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? The situation with him, and there are some artists like that. You know, I would say Chris Rock is one of those
Right.
joints that can't be canceled. They built a base, and I think, I'm not at that level, but I think I'm uncanceled because I'm not on a TV show. I'm not doing movies regularly. The last 5 or 6 years, any work I've got, it wasn't through audition, it was because somebody said, we want this guy. But you know, when you don't have to get a check for somebody else, you create your own checks, you can't counsel a person.
Is there a joke that you won't do?
It's not a joke that I won't do because I'm irresponsible in the jokes that I choose to use.
Right.
Now, the argument's been like, oh, I believe in freedom of speech, whatever. Yes, you have the freedom to say whatever you want. Also know that there's some consequences will come with what you say. And there's a possibility there may be some backlashes. I encourage white people to use the N-word all day. I say use it so you can see how it feels to use it. If you think you're that strong, if you want to make that argument, we're not going to use it, but then this is what's going to happen. There's consequences to anything that you say or do.
Right.
One of my phrases is, a joke can be too soon, but it never can be too soon for a funny observation.
Right.
That's what my comedy is. And I think that's what some of the best comedians' thing is.
Right. There are some times, I mean, you said some LBTQ jokes, Asian jokes. I mean, when you say a joke, do you know, like, I don't know if I should have. Or you just go.
No, I do know that. And then the ones that make me, I don't know, those are the ones I want to do the most. Yeah, because I'm just saying, it's like, there's something to be said about a comic that speaks from their point of view and how they feel.
If that's what comedy is, if that's what comedians supposed to do, supposed to go places, because they're supposed to be like,
It all depends on who it is.
Okay.
You have some comics that would never do that because they're in the business with corporations. They're in this business, that's where they make their money. You know what I'm saying? You have some of them that don't, but it all depends. I know some comics, like I say Jim Gaffigan. You ain't gonna never hear Jim Gaffigan do a straight up dick and pussy joke, but he might water it down and substitute some words with him because he's protecting his bag.
Right.
Whatever you gotta do, protect your bag, whatever your bag is. My bag has been grimy for the longest
Correct.
time, so I don't have to protect it like that.
You're friends with Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
Joe went from I didn't know Joe was a comedian.
Yeah.
When I first was introduced to Joe Rogan was Fear Factor.
Right. A lot of people.
And then the next thing I know, he's basically the voice of the UFC. He's calling fights. And then obviously he's a pretty good stand-up comedian from what I hear.
Yeah.
I don't, really get into it like that. So what is the yin and the yang? How did you and Joe become cool?
Well, Joe, we became, first off, I know of Joe from Fear Factor, from Chappelle Show.
Okay.
And then he was like a really big part of the Comedy Store vibe there. Like he's been a big name for years. And of course his podcast, but I never ever was like, hey Joe, I'm so-and-so and so-and-so. My introduction to people, I want them to see me perform.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see me perform. He would see me in passing the Comedy Store, and then he knew my reputation that I was a funny guy.
Okay.
Then we exchanged words, whatever, and then one thing led to another where I did his podcast. And it was interesting because I heard Miss Pat was on the show.
Yes.
And Miss Pat was like, people got upset with her because she kept it real.
Right.
And I'll double down and say, I know that's his character. Because when I did his podcast for the first time, I was like, I want to come off the road, man. I don't want to work as much on the road because I want to spend more time with my son, but I don't make money in Hollywood. I was like, I need to make money in Hollywood. He was like, just start a podcast. I'm like, it's not that simple. He was like, and I'm saying to myself, ain't no money in podcasts like that. And then I Googled him. I was like, okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, right?
But he at the top of the food chain.
This is what I'm gonna tell you. This is what I want to say. And when I watched the one Miss Pat, I was like, she right. That's the type of person he is. But our own people are so critical of each other. When Joe said, Donnell, I was like, how do I get subscribers like that? He said, just do a podcast on a tape recorder, anything. Just do it. I'll tweet it out. You'll get some licks off of that. Then you do all the other podcasts. Next thing you know, be on. Guess what? I did it. I came out the gate with like 7,000 subscribers off of that. And people can say what they want to say. I'm so sick of the black, white, that type of shit. There's some people that stand up people and they say what they're going to do.
Right.
He's one of them. As much as people want to say, well, the people behind him, they're not funny. Guess what them white boys have figured out a thing to do? They figured out a way to make each other rich.
Yes. They support each other.
They have a system.
They just support each other.
They have a system. They have a system. All right, this person, okay, let's say, guess what? Everybody ain't gonna be the funniest, Shannon, but who's gonna be the best business people? Who's gonna be the best hustlers or whatever? And they have a system that they make each other stars. Why? Black people don't do that.
I want you to be a star. I just don't want you to be bigger than me. So if that means,
Then you don't want me to be a star.
Yeah, okay. Well, I want you to be a
That's
star.
why you don't want you. Oh, nah, let me be a star first.
Right.
They don't look at it like that.
No.
That crew, they can say, I don't give a f. All right, you already heard my feelings about my son, so this can go wherever the f it goes. But where is that sense of unity? Always talk shit. Why isn't Spike Lee the most sought after director doing the biggest movies and everything? What y'all wanted? We want him to do black movies, blah, 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 blah. I'm doing black movies, black action and everything. Guess what? You ain't going to see my movies. So I don't have no power. Where does it stop? And at the end of the day, you can take race and everything away. You got good people and bad people.
Yeah, on both sides, absolutely.
And a relationship, no matter what anybody thinks about Rogan, whatever the relationship I have with him, he's always been a stand-up guy to me, always pick up my call, and always been like, do you need anything? I got you.
You can only base what you know about a person through personal experience.
Right.
So somebody else judging Joe Rogan that's never been around Joe Rogan, and you having a personal relationship with Joe Rogan and saying, this is how he is with me.
But you can't do that, Shannon, because people want the relationship they have with you, they want you to have a similar relationship.
They do.
They want you to have a similar relationship. I give you an example, Kid Rock.
Yes.
Kid Rock is a good friend of mine. I met Kid Rock when we was doing these summer shows in Ohio. Because Kid Rock is a provocateur. He says some dumb shit out of his mouth sometimes. I get that. I think it's two people. I think it's Bob Ritchie and it's Kid Rock.
Right.
Kid Rock is a provocateur that wants to talk some shit to get you stirred up. Bob Ritchie is a person I met in Yellow Springs, Ohio, when nobody want to talk to him, nobody want to take a picture with him. We floating down the river and I'm talking to him.
Right.
And he's right beside me on a boat saying, Donnell, I feel like I just went through 12 hours of anger management. Thank you. I saw a guy that's the one that I know.
Right.
I saw a guy that was doing a comedy festival in Nashville. Donnell, I think you're funny. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for showing me love, whatever. Would you be interested in doing this? I saw a guy that had a show at the Grand Ole Opry, one of them white establishments you want to say. I did the show. 7 comedians. 6 of them white. I'm the only black comedian. I go on last. I close the show. Shannon, I knew when I went out there, it was all MAGAs. It was all MAGAs. It was not somebody from the left. It was not an LBG. It was the only letters in there was MAGA. Capital. All I saw was Star Spangled Banner and shit. You know what I'm saying? Red, white, and blue, God bless America. And I said to myself, oh man, fuck that. But I was saying, what's my job? I'm a comedian. Can I go out here and rock these motherfuckers? I closed the show, 35 minutes, no politics, no nothing, caught a standing ovation. At the end of it backstage, Kid Rock, he said, man, I think we might have just brought America back together. I said, and don't separate it. That's it. But your, like you said, your personal experience is different from mine.
Yes.
And the person can be like this, but he said so-and-so. Do I give a about it? Yes. Do I tell him sometimes, come on, man, you can't say that.
Right.
It don't make no sense to say it. But and I say that's one of the things that I really appreciate about what I've built for myself with my following and everything is that if you come to one of my shows, it's not just all black people, it's not just all white people, it's a mix of everything. It's America.
Dating. Got a 9-year-old, old ass with a 9-year-old. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Why you wait so late?
You know, the level of disrespect that question is for a man with no kids to think that.
Who ain't got no kids?
I ain't talking about you.
Oh.
Out kid me, nigga. All right. Out kid me. No, you know how hurtful that is for a guy, and when I say that myself, that thought that he was already settled into the fact that he probably never had no kids, which is mentally for a man, it's a tough thing. I had already said, you know what, you're probably not gonna have no kids. You got nephews.
You got kids?
Huh?
Did you want kids?
Yeah, but the situation just didn't, and you know, the situation just didn't happen.
Okay.
And I just wasn't shooting up the club like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't a raw dogger like that.
So I mean, okay.
Nah, you said like you proud? You been going raw longer than me? Oh, he like, yeah, nigga, I've been getting that heat for the longest.
No.
But what I'm saying was, it just didn't happen.
Right.
I was in relationships where it'd be like 2 years, 3 years, then start all over and shit like that.
Right.
But then it just happened. I did have him late in life, but I don't have no regrets about it. Sometimes I do think, what if I would have started early, whatever. But then you'll go crazy thinking about that. I'm just happy that, you know, and then I have a beautiful son.
Yes.
Don't yes me about my son, please.
What about marriage then?
What? Marriage?
Yeah.
It's probably 1,000% out of the cards for me.
What?
I got a son. That's black marriage. Yo, it's gonna be one of those. Have a kid or marriage, son.
You got one.
Yeah, I got one.
Boom.
Boom. And then when she said, I remember when she was like, she knew what the baby was.
Right.
I said, it's a boy or girl. She said, what do you want? I said, a girl. I said, a boy. Boom. I was like this. I'm out. Rawlings' name continues. Yeah. But my happiness come through him, and my happiness come through what I do.
Have you ever caught someone cheating on you? You say you had a dream.
I don't think I caught nobody cheating on me, but I know in the past I cheated so much, I know I had to pay them taxes.
You got your card. They got the lick back?
I'm pretty sure of it. I'm 1,000% sure, but you got to pay. I'm like, it was time to reverse that sooner or later. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure. But I look at cheating like this, like motherfucker. No, go ahead. Go to the next question.
I will ask toxic relationship. Who's more toxic, women or men?
You know what a toxic man's gonna say? Women. You crazy bitches. They bitches don't understand us. Yeah, the most toxic, them crazy ass. Oh, cause I ain't come home last night. You tripping? Why you going through my phone?
Would you consider yourself toxic?
By definition, yeah, I do think I'm. Nah, but see, damn, if I don't think I'm toxic, then I'm a narcissist. Mm-hmm. I'm a nigga. Put everything in there. Gaslight, toxic, narcissism, love bombing.
Yeah.
I do all of that type shit. And that's what make men men. We ain't gonna be perfect. You and your goddamn therapist. About that shit. I'm all of them. All of them. Every mental health word you can use on me. Toxic, narcissism, but through all of that, I am a good.
Yeah.
Through all of that. You know what? This is something to be said. A lot of people have better relationships, and relationships be strengthened if women would just stay the out of cell phones.
There you have it. The urge to see, they gotta know.
If I'm a knight in shining armor if you stay the away from my phone. I'm from this place, and they gonna never understand this logic.
You're a Hallmark movie guy.
Yeah, I'm like this. What did I do for you to think that you want to my phone? Just, you know what women say?
What?
I had this feeling. It was just something inside me. Did you hear that? Did you hear that feeling when we was in Abu Dhabi? Did you have that feeling when we was on the shopping spree? When do you have this feeling? And what do you want from that feeling? Nobody understands. Shaq said something close to this. I'm coming home to you. I'm so-and-so. Stay out. Shaq, stay on my phone. Oh, wow, what you got to hide? No, I ain't got nothing to hide. But so a man, you can't have no level of privacy. And everything about my life, you need to be privy to it. It don't make no sense.
You out.
And you know when is foul.
Right.
You know when is foul. You know when the foul. Oh, I didn't answer my phone. Oh, I fell asleep on my man's couch. You know when is foul. So why you want to play with that? It don't make no sense.
Heard somebody say the strongest drug in the world is a woman.
One of my mentors said, Donnell, this is when your career really takes off. When you done knock down everything you want to knock down, you done had that experience, that's when it takes off. Because he said, Donnell, you got to remember this. This is what he said, no pussy is going to be better than new pussy. And once you get to the point where you don't need new pussy or chase it, that's when shit starts to exchange. Because the men always going to have the drive to want to do something with somebody. But eventually you get to a point like, is it worth it? And I think that what happens is you've been in so many situations where the consequences of your action, you realize, guess what? Most of us know how to be good men.
Right.
We know how to do it. Because you can look at every bad relationship prepares you for the next relationship.
Right.
And you know, like, how did this one up? Because I did this.
Right.
And once we get to the point where we say we don't want to do that, then that's when you'll get to that point.
Do you want more kids? Because Al Pacino had one at 83, so you ways from that.
I ain't gonna do that. I think it would be unfair to that kid. But I did when I wish after Austin, I wish that I would have had another one right at that, just because he is built to be a big brother. And he just got that part of him. But you know, she's so young that she could pop out.
Yeah, I'm like 20. She 23. Donnell. 20. Why you didn't date her mom? Why you go for the Donnell?
I didn't date her mom because why didn't I date her mom?
Yeah, good question.
No, wait.
I'm asking the question.
No,
This
because
ain't the Donnell Rawlings show.
Love is love.
If you don't,
love is love.
I agree with you.
What?
You like them young, though.
Say Drake, I heard you. Nope. Don't do that. I don't like them young. I like what I love. I didn't groom nobody, son. It is what it is. But I can't date nobody my age and get what I wanted. What I look like getting a 48-year-old bitch pregnant.
It's possible.
It could have happened, but I ain't want them odds.
Hold on, she was on Bad Girls Club?
Yes.
You like Bad Girls?
I made her a good girl. Nigga, ask me another question.
You like toxic.
I was going through a transition in my life, and if somebody made me feel good about myself, that I knew in the future I was gonna have a beautiful son, that you was gonna try to ruin the relationship I had with him by talking about did he see you between Diddy legs. I saw the future of this show before we even goddamn did it. All right? And I didn't break no laws. I didn't do. Yes, she's a lot younger than me. But that's what it was. I gave my opportunity. I gave myself an opportunity. Why you hating on me?
Where y'all meet at? Forever 21?
Yo, y'all ain't gotta laugh that hard, son. You know what?
I'm just trying to figure out that. I mean, where you meet this 23-year-old at? Because I mean, hey, 23, I think I'm a couple of years older than you. I go 33. So I just need to know. 23, 33, they're probably in the same area. Maybe we can hang out.
I'm not with you. I'm not hanging with you. Okay. What I want to say, there was a part of my life where someone gave me a certain energy that I needed. And they expressed to me, I wasn't out there on no playgrounds.
Yeah.
I didn't have R. Kelly in the background. And they expressed to me that and this is how they get you. I like older men. Bing, 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 bing,
right.
bing.
You like younger women.
Can I finish my
Go ahead.
sentence? You can switch and do interview yourself. If you want to do that, give them another mic.
Nope.
No, it was just, it was something that happened in my life. it was timing.
Mm-hmm.
It was me coming off of another relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt this person made me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And that turned into a relationship where I had a beautiful son.
That's it. Where y'all meet? How do you ask out? I'm interested. I'm an older guy myself.
I was working on this show in New York, and we both had a social media manager, whatever, shared same person.
She worked on the show too?
No, she was on the show that you just said.
Okay.
I'm not embarrassed about that.
Okay.
But
No, you shouldn't be.
No, that was the case. And this person kept on saying, like, y'all energy, y'all funny, the sense of humor, whatever, that we wanted y'all to meet. And I'd be quite honest, I wasn't excited about it. I wasn't excited about it because of that show. I just wasn't excited about anything. Then I was going through a point in my life where I was like, I don't need to be with nobody right now. But then I met her. And this is how all relationships start. You feel and see all the good things. And there's somebody that knows, now I won't say pray on it, but they know what makes you feel good.
Right.
And at that time, everything about our conversations and everything I felt good about. And it was like small tests. This might be minute to you, right? But I remember I had took her shopping. And we were at this mall, and when I go shopping, I'm like this, I ain't looking no tags or nothing. Pop, 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 right? And there was 3 pairs of pants on it, right? And the pants was like, I was like, you like those? The pants were like $225 jeans. They both was $225 pair. Yeah. I said, you like them? She said, yeah. I said, why'd you put it back? And she said, I couldn't see myself. And this was my money I was putting up. She said, I couldn't see myself paying $225 for a pair of pants. And I know that feels weird, but I was like, I'm not mad at that answer.
Yeah, that's good answer.
In a situation where you could have been like this, I'm going to just whop, whop, whop. And that started a conversation. And then again, she was in my life, made me feel a certain way, and made me feel a certain way, literally and figuratively, when I needed to feel a certain way.
Right.
That's how that happened. And then some short time period after that, we had a kid.
I saw you had you interviewed Dr. Umar. Obviously, Umar he's very Pan-Africanism is the word that he used.
Just say he's very not us.
What you mean us?
You know us, me. No. You know what us, me.
No.
You know what? Don't even try it. You know us. What?
Sisters.
That don't even flow off your lips right, son. It's like somebody in your ear like this, like say it, say it, say it. You know, he's not like us. They not like us.
No.
They not like us.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you know the I'm talking about.
Donnell.
Give me my cards. I got some cards. And you know what I'm talking about. Go ahead. All right, go ahead. I don't know what you're talking about.
Why do you believe that interracial dating is such a hot topic in our community?
Why is it a hot topic? Again, have something to be mad about. Now, I can understand your feelings on interracial. This may sound crazy, and would this up. I can understand that shit if we was still like marching, like in 1940, but god damn, nigga. We got so many examples of what a biracial relationship has created. You know what I'm saying? We got so much of like, it don't necessarily mean everybody ain't trying to fight the power all the time.
Right.
I like out my speech, I said, fight the power downstairs. I'm this freedom fighter right now.
Right.
Yo, I said it in my speech. I said, the dopest blowjob you ever gonna get is a reparations blowjob. I don't give a and you laugh because you know, don't even hour.
Donnell.
What's the difference?
Huh?
What's the difference?
Between what?
Joe, you ever had a reparations blowjob?
I don't get down like that.
Oh, man. They always talk about where's the lies? Right here. All lies will be exposed right here. I can understand the sentiment of Dr. Umar. I can understand that. I just don't subscribe to somebody should be only dating a certain person.
Yeah.
And whenever you say that, they say that's the language of a bunny hopper. So what? Whatever fuck makes you happy.
Right.
That's how I feel.
So I'm just supposed to be with anybody. Just they treat me like crap. Just find somebody else out. That's not always the case. But why can't I be with the person that likes me?
You can, but then what does it say? Then you're taking away. Oh, you're taking the money out of the black community. Nigga, everybody taking money out of the black community.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't talk about it.
Oh, you bunny hopping.
I've hopped. I'm a hopper.
Is your son mixed?
My son is mixed with a Salvadorian and black.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tina.
Selena. Yeah. I have a beautiful son too.
Yeah.
The DNA was cracked on that one. I system up. Somebody say, "Oh, Donnell, you got that pretty girl pregnant." I'm like, "Do you think I want to get somebody pregnant that look like me?" We got to balance this shit off. I ain't gonna have no good hair nowhere.
Did Tyrese really get mad at you for making fun of him for crying?
Yeah, he did, but I didn't give a.
Did he reach out to you?
No, he reached out. He slid in my DM. Pause. No, did he? But it was something I did a joke about. I used his face as a crying Mike face. Oh, I expect that from somebody that I don't fuck with. I'm like, nigga, I didn't saw you twice in my life.
That's what he hit you with?
Yeah, he said something about, oh, I expected, because I made a joke about him crying faces, dismissing the fact that I'm a comedian and dismissing the fact that the cried too much.
Right.
Shut the up. I wish somebody, you know the phrase, take his phone?
Yeah.
Somebody really need to take Tyrese's phone. We don't need to know every second of your life.
Right.
I respect you as an artist. I respect what you've done. But damn, man, I wish you would just shut the up.
Have you got a lot of that? People ask you to take down posts, to stop making jokes about them?
Nah. People don't do that.
You wasn't gonna do it anyway, huh?
I wasn't gonna do it. I've never considered it. And the reason why I say that, because I'm really selective on what I put out there. And I'm like, if you can't take this, you just overly sensitive and I can't cater to that.
Right.
Then if I do that, then I'll be taking posts down for everything. No disrespect to Tyrese or anything like that, but I personally think that someone needs to take his phone. Because I know you wanna be in touch with your fans. We don't need to be a part of your whole journey.
Right.
We don't need to do that.
Let me ask you this. What was the best comedy stand-up experience you've had? You've been on Def Comedy Jam, Showtime at the Apollo, Comic View.
For me, the best comedy experience I've had was when I did my special, because no matter what you think of that special, it felt like I really knew what I was doing. Like from Dave scratching it twice, I felt like the next one I'm doing, the next one I do, I know exactly. I know what point of view is. I know beginning, middle, and end. I know that during that show, I captivated the audience. So for some reason, as long as I've been doing it, and I've been doing it for 30 plus years, it was that special that I was like this, oh, now I know what it means to be a professional comic when the stakes are up.
Right.
Because you can people say, well, I've seen him be funny, whatever. It's one thing to be in a comedy club with no pressure, but when those lights are on, somebody's money is there, and you trying to duplicate what you did all these years to that, it's something. That I just felt like when I did my special New Day, it was something that made me feel like I know what I'm doing now. And even after that, people that come to my shows, they're like, oh, I didn't know if he was gonna do stuff from the special. No joke from my special is there. It's all new, and I'm still getting better.
The set for a special. You say a special is going to be an hour. Are you doing all new material? Or are you doing material that you fine-tuned? Like some of the jokes, obviously.
On the special?
Yes.
The special, you doing stuff that this is what I felt. I wanted to do, because you on a clock, you on a time, you on people's money. I wanted to feel like I wanted that special there, but I wanted to be open enough where if something happens in the moment, I can do that, which makes it very organic. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, you don't have the flexibility to do that. You're just like by the book. But when I do my shit, even my show today, or whenever you see me, I'll probably 50% of stuff is what I want to do, and I want to keep myself open for what could happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So let me ask you a question. How much do you like when you go on stage? Do you like you rehearsed? You like written down? Because Marlon says I don't write down anything. I'm going up there. I'm free. I'm just going with the flow. And then I've had others say, "Hey, I got a set. I know what I want to go. I want to go boom, 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 boom. Hey, I might alter here or there according, but."
I don't have a script, but I do like if it's certain points I want to do. Me, the best sets I've had when I'm working with the emotions I'm dealing with that day, if I'm having some drama, family stuff, whatever, if I can kind of turn that into stand up. But I'm not like some people, they are like Chris Rock. Chris Rock he's not going to deviate. I've seen Chris Rock prepare for specials where it's gonna be like, bah, bah, bah. He's professional. He's a professional, and his pen game is crazy. But me, I want to be able to talk about something, but how do I get there?
Right. I'm looking at, Jamie Foxx called you a beast. You worked with Chris and Dave on the because you was on the at the Hollywood Bowl. You mentioned the Hollywood Bowl.
Yes.
So were you there when the guy rushed the stage?
I wasn't there, and I was a part of that tour. But I had another gig. I was doing one of my gigs, and I was the only show during that run that I missed. It's so funny because I was on a flight, and when I was taking off, somebody said they just attacked Dave on stage, and I was like, oh, like I'm gonna take a parachute and get off and shit, like I'm gonna go save him. But I wasn't at that show.
Chris Rock recently ended the Billionaires Private, but once he found out somebody was recording, how serious are you about recording your shows?
It's weird. I think that, like, at my shows, I'll make sure the MC announces that no recording rights. I'm not going to let that ruin my show.
Right.
Because even though somebody is recording your set, it's not going to take away from people seeing you live and seeing you put it on a platform that you're going to do it. It doesn't matter. If somebody records, I wish people would take more time to be involved with the show and not record. But if somebody record my shit, it's not going to stop them from watching it on Netflix or going to see me live. But it's like a funny situation.
Did you get upset at Katt for what he said on my platform? A lot of people got mad at me.
Right.
They said, because you allowed Katt. I'm like, allow? I mean, I have asked somebody, I invite you in to have a conversation. I don't know where you're going, just like I didn't know what you were going to say here today.
I didn't get mad, but my thing is like, you got people with problems and people with solutions. And my only thing was that, and I listened to it, like I said earlier, okay, you haven't said anything that people don't know about Hollywood. And then my thing is, what do you want out of this? All right, so-and-so stole my joke. Write another joke. And even when I listen to it, it's so easy. So first off, if a can that easily steal your joke, guess what? It ain't the best joke out there. Mark Carey was upset, like, oh, Steve Harvey did a joke about Halloween. I'm like, who don't got a Halloween costume joke? Who don't got a joke about, I was so poor, we dress up like ghosts. I was so poor, I dress up like a UPS man. Who don't have those jokes? And then it may sound crazy, but writing a joke, when I first started, I used to be, oh, that motherfucker stole my joke, he stole my style. I'm like this, I didn't get nowhere with that. I had beef with comics, I'm like this. All that does for me is like, you know what? First off, if motherfucker say a joke, go fight him. That's how it used to be. When I was coming up, it ain't like, you didn't have no blog, you go fight him that stole your joke.
Steal your joke?
Oh yeah, yeah. If you knew it, you just step to him. If you ain't gonna step to him, what are you mad about? If anything, write another joke.
Right.
It's so, but not only that, usually when you hear somebody stole a joke, the joke is so easy to steal.
Right.
That, what are you complaining about? And that's when you go deeper into you as a comic, because now, all right, people just steal my shit. I was like, you know what? That joke was stealable, you can have it.
Right.
Then I gotta go back into myself. That's what I'm talking about, point of view. You can't steal a joke about a relationship I have with my son. Right. You can't steal a joke I have a relationship with, or any relationships I have. You can't steal that joke. Right. It would force you to be more creative. But a lot of this shit is just bullshit.
How have you been able to appeal to two different audiences? Because you have crossover appeal. Obviously, like you said, you came up in the Chitlin circuit. You can black comedy. You can be in a black room filled with blacks. You can go room like you said you had in Nashville. You had basically the audience. None of them looked like Donnell Rawlings. How have you been able to make that transition?
White bitches.
This man.
What?
I don't know nothing about that, Donnell. You're trying to get me. No,
I'm sorry.
I'm not there, Donnell. I'm not there.
No, I ain't. Okay, I'm sorry. Ooh. Sorry, ooh. I didn't mean fuck white bitches. Explore different cultures.
Yes.
Be involved. The reason why I've been, because I just don't have one group of friends.
I like to drive around my block.
Right.
That's it.
Yes, your block is
look like me.
Your block is a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, and people like me live in it.
Bunny? How?
No. I don't know Donnell, where did you get that from? I want to know who told you that.
I don't have no resources. But it's all over your face.
No, it's not.
It is all over your face.
You see how powerful.
Even how even the way you talk is different.
You see?
You enunciate now, son. Yo, you said I beg your pardon. You got index cards. What the are you talking about?
You see how powerful the internet is?
What?
Somebody said that and ran with it, and not everybody believes that.
I believe that I believe that you are a hopper. You a hopper. You a hopper. You might have a t-shirt around for a photo op.
No, but y'all want me to.
You might wear a dashiki on your birthday.
No.
You got hop in you.
All that tried, obviously, they say that because they want me to reveal.
Right.
And I won't fall for the banana.
Well, don't see, even leaving the phrases you use. See. That's very white.
Okay,
banana in the tailpipe.
What about the okie doke?
Okie doke is better, but that's not what you said. You said banana, and you said the old banana in the tailpipe. That's a bunny hopper right there, son. Oh, they had to hit me with the blur, 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 blur. No.
Let me ask you a question.
Because the reason why, because I'm culturally diverse. And I don't just associate with just one type of people.
Yeah, right. That's how I am.
One of my friends, this is what he said. He said, man, you're gonna have a good time with Shannon. I said, why? He said, because y'all both like black and white.
I like women.
No, now he wasn't talking about the women. He was talking about black and white in regard to okay, let's say I got a guy I like this. And you know what? It may sound insulting, but I know what he meant by that. And I'm gonna tell you that it's been a dilemma in my career that I didn't find out till like a year ago. I was talking to this promoter, and I was doing a show, and I was talking about these black package shows, right? And it's always like Samoa, it's always Earthquake, it's all these people.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, yo, and I love everybody I just named. I said, why do they keep missing me? Why I'm not on these shows? And he said, Donnell, I pitched you for the show. I'm the one that got you the show. He said, but a lot of promoters think you're a white comedian, right? And what they meant by that was because my audience and what I can appeal to is black and white, so they don't think that I'm a black comic.
And plus what they see you pull up to the arena with. So
well, what?
That might have something to do with it.
It has everything to do, what I'm saying is the diversity that I have. You know, and I was like, but I want all the money, but then when my friend said it about you, it's like, because you both appeal to both. What's wrong with that?
Because they want you to love one and then hate the other. But why can't it's kind of like the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. Why can't I like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? Why do if I like Caitlin Clark, I gotta hate Angel Reese? Why do if I like Angel Reese, I gotta hate Caitlin Clark? Why can't I like both?
And the reason why is because this world just feeds off of all negative.
They got to make you pick. You got to choose a side.
You got to choose sides, and it's all negative. Like even what I say when it comes to the internet, whatever. Guess what? Bad guys can win on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, when I first started, you had to be likable to sell tickets.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But now you could be hated and still make money. Because at the end of the day, it's always about the engagement and who's going to be the most interested in giving you the most engagement.
Right. Politics. How do you stay away? Do you make sure? Do you try to stay away from political?
I tried to. It was one time when I used to put my political views first and in the forefront because I was passionate and felt something a way about it. But I also realized that who comes to my shows and everything, and it's easier for me to I'm very selective on what I talk about because there's not just two type of people. There's a lot of people that pay my bills when it comes to that. So even when I talk about politics, I don't do it in a way where I'm going to turn somebody off.
Right.
I do it in a way where we all can laugh about it.
Right.
Like even on the Trump shit, it used to be, I used to be like, yo, Donald Trump or whatever, or I could say that, and that's easy. The black audience is easy. You're gonna win with that. But now, I'll give you an example. I'll go and say, I was like, if I had to ask Donald Trump one question, the question would be where did you get a brand new ear in 72 hours? Right? That disarms you.
Right.
I talk about what I talk about, and you don't have to get upset.
Right.
And then people are like, well, Donald Trump, this is an example.
Yeah.
People talking about Donald Trump is racist. My question is, if most corporations, you ask somebody who you work for.
Right.
I work for AT&T. How many employees? 1,000 people. 200 of them probably racist, but they don't wear the costume or racist. I say I'm too successful, and I work too hard to care about all races. Why would I care about a racist gas attendant? You work at the gas station, not me. I don't do shit like anybody, but I do certain things you have to talk about. It's hotbed conversation, and I will, but I'm not trying to separate my audience.
You went to the high school, T.C. Williams.
Yes.
Remember the Titan? You remember my best friend Keith Burns went to that high school. You on that championship? You weren't on that championship team. That was before you.
Boy, you have a nice way to call me old, but it's okay.
He older than you.
Who?
Burns.
No, he's not. I'm older than Keith.
How old are you? You the same age? I'm 56.
I'm older than you. I just turned 57, December 6th.
Well, you wasn't on that championship team.
I know I'd have been 70-something if I was on that championship team. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, Burns won the championship his senior year.
No, he didn't.
Oh, Lord.
Remember the Titans when that wasn't the championship he won?
No, I'm saying, the championship that Burns them won the last one. That was in the 70s. I think Coach Boone won the first championship in the 70s.
Yeah. No. Keith, they didn't win the championship.
Yeah, they did.
We can talk about that later.
We're going to bet $50. They say you stole the ball from Kevin Durant, drained the three on the three.
Oh, son! Yo, did y'all got the video?
We're going to show it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that was one of my greatest moments. Now we back on, I love you, man.
But what about the time you got hurt?
I don't want to hear about the time about that. Let's talk about the other one first.
But we go back to that.
No, what you was talking about.
Okay, Kevin Durant, he tried to hit you with a crossover, right?
Yeah.
You stole the ball.
Can I tell my story?
Go ahead, tell the story.
All right. So boom. First off, Big Ticket does an annual celebrity game, right? And I know they didn't want me on the team because they said they didn't have my shoe size. I was like, nigga, I wear a 9. Y'all always got 9s around here, right? They didn't have no jersey. They didn't have nothing, right? So I come on there, boom. Karan Butler, he our coach, right? They called me in the game. I don't know why they called me in the game. They called me in the game. Kevin Durant bringing the ball up, right? Yeah, I feel like Freaky Zeke. Then I put him in a full Nelson, then I swung him around. All right. So he tried to dribble the ball between my legs. I don't know what happened. I stole the ball, right? Man, I didn't know what to do with that. I'm going down the court. I picked Kevin Durant's pocket.
Right. Okay.
And I'm going down the court, and I was like, if I try to go over to the basket, I'm a double dribble, so I'm gonna be stupid. So I pulled up at the 3.
You pulled up like Steph Curry?
Y'all got the receipts. I pulled up with the 3. Boom. Y'all saw how I did it, right? So I was like this. I dribbled, boom. You see?
Okay. In, out, blah, blah.
Let me tell you a story.
Okay.
So I'm like this. Behind the back, I did behind the back, flipped it again, between the legs. He coming, pushed him out the way, took the ball. I pulled up, but when I pulled up in slow motion because I wanted the moment to be forever. So
like you frozen time.
Yeah. What I did was I pulled up with the left, right?
Yeah.
The right coming next. I hit with the left. I was like, then on the way down, I take it, then reverse it, right?
Yeah.
First, I went up with this.
You in the air?
Let me tell my motherfucking story. Look, I'm this all in the air because my vertical like 43. I was just 10 seconds in the air.
Okay.
So I pulls up like this. I'm shooting it, right?
Right.
Then I said, nah, because he was gonna try to block it. Pulled it back down.
Damn.
what I was gonna do was do it behind the back pass, but he wasn't open.
Right.
So I said, now I got 5 seconds left, right? I pulls back up, right? I pulls back up, right? I pulls back up like the bitches is going crazy, right? I pulls back up, right? Then it was like this.
Money.
Nah, it took a minute, because that's how my angle is. My shit's like 30 seconds up there, right? Yeah. So all the bitches could get pictures and shit. So I pulls back up, pop. He behind me trying to get the ball. Everybody in slow motion like, oh shit.
They looking like this?
Let me tell my story, please. They like, oh shit, right? And I'm coming down, I hear everybody saying, oh shit. And then some said, psh. Red Grant was there. He was, and all of a sudden, all you hear, I'm not an athlete. I never heard this in my career. They was like, oh shit, Ashy Larry. I was like, what, nigga? Right? I was like, what? Right? And then I called timeout.
What you call timeout for?
I took myself out the game.
You can't call timeout if you make a shot. You don't have the ball. No.
I don't play like that. I called timeout. They was like, oh shit, Ashy Larry. And I was sitting back there like this, nigga. Yo, I was like this, right? And then Karan Butler, he act like I'm a threat from the outside. We start losing. He's like this, yo, you want to get back in? I was like, it's over for me. I got a triple single. My career's over. Boom, that's what happened. And y'all got the video.
Yes.
Yes.
But tell the time you hurt yourself dunking on that 8-foot goal.
You have what I call negative positive energy. You know, that's a good interviewer and shit. What happened was, this was after I hit that 3-pointer on Kevin.
Yeah.
So boom. You know a story gonna be funny when you say boom, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in my baby mother house, her mother house, Stephanie house. I'm just, don't say what you about to say.
I ain't gonna say that.
What you doing to his baby? So the kids fucking, they like this. They call me an old head. They got, you know the rim?
Yeah.
It goes 10 foot to 8 foot, right?
Right.
I'm minding my business. I'm barbecuing, right? Minding my business. Got a barbecue ready. They said, what you gonna do, old head? I said, what? I said, what y'all gonna do is, y'all gonna, first off, put your camera on. This when Vine was out. I want them to Vine me.
Oh.
Vine was popping, right? I said, Vine me. I said, what y'all gonna do is take a picture. They said, what you gonna do? I said, first off, because this is coming off the Kevin Durant thing,
Yeah.
right? I
So
said,
you feeling good about yourself?
nice. But I said, I'm gonna throw the ball off the backboard, right? I said, I'm gonna grab it, because you know the hang time I had in that last shit, right? I said, I'm gonna grab it. I said, I'm gonna do a 360. I said, I'm gonna do a 360, right? I said, see what right here? I said, I'm gonna do a 360. Then I said, I'm gonna bang it, right? And I said, on my way down, because I had a barbecue rag right here. I said, on my way down, I'm gonna grab the rag, I'm gonna wipe my face, and y'all better catch that shit. They said, do it, old head, right? That made me even madder.
Gas you, they had you gas.
They gassed me. I walked, all I remember, I went back and something said, fire! Joe, I wish I came my pants too tight. I'll show you, right here, patella.
You ripped your patella?
I tore it. I said, some said, this out, because I'm in Jersey too, so I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I didn't know my leg. I thought I got shot, but I didn't know who I was beefing with, right? I was like, I can't believe Mike Epson done rolled up, right? Okay. Yo, I thought Mike Epson done rolled up. That's another story. Tell him, ask him how I saved his life. Anyway, so that's enough. Boom. Bam! Right? Pop my leg, right? And I'm mad because I'm like, I can't believe my let me get shot. Ain't nobody saying, go get that thing or nothing, right? And it was so up because the little kid, it was like a Spike Lee movie. The kids were looking over top of me like this, right? And they was like, we don't even know what happened. He was only 2 inches off the ground. I thought I got shot. And I was mad because nobody was trying to get at him. And here's the crazy thing about that. I was up, when I did that, I was up for a roll. What was that? Power? Was it Power?
Yeah.
I was up for a roll in Power.
Wow.
Right? As soon as I get my leg fixed out of surgery, my manager called me and said, they wanted you for Power. And I was like, my knee up. And Charlie Murphy got that role. That was the last role Charlie Murphy did. It was off of Power. But that's what it was. That was my whole career. Y'all saw what you...
You were pretty athletic because I read you were a security guard at a grocery store and used to chase down crackhead. So you're pretty athletic. You could have been an athlete. Crackhead's fast. How you catch him?
First off, I wasn't a security guard at a grocery store. I was a general.
Okay, you was a general guard.
I had rank. And you don't chase them down. You put 5 carts in lane 17. You block. You gotta make that
block them in.
Make that pattern go.
Right.
Because they want to steal the shit and run out, but you got to make it where they go sideways. But that was my job I had before.
Before you got a comedy.
Yep.
You promoting anything? Tell us about anything you promote. You performing? Tell us where you're at next.
I'm performing. This is what I'm promoting.
Okay.
Brotherhood.
Okay. I'm all for that.
Black excellence. You know, the crazy thing about this, my mother warned me about you.
What'd I do?
She said you was gonna say that. She said, baby, he gonna say what I did and you tell him. She said, don't drink the yak. I do have a podcast and I know what it is. I should have did it earlier in the show. Right. It's called the Donnell Rawlings Show. It's on YouTube and all podcast platforms. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
I'm excited to be here. I didn't know that you was gonna be the villain.
No. We had great conversation today.
No.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we've been trying to get this. We've been trying to do this for a minute now.
Right.
You've been dodging.
Can I have my phone? I'm like, phone call. Is it on? Oh man, my battery died? It did.
Yeah, it died.
Boy, you lucky.
Well, see, hey, CJ, you see the Lord. You see how the Lord wanted to do it.
Yo.
Look at the Lord.
Charge my shit up. Ask me 2 more questions. Ask me 2 more questions. Charge my shit up. Ask me 2 more questions.
Look at the Lord.
Nope.
Tell us the Mike Epps story.
The what?
Mike.
It's a Mike Epps story.
Oh my God, I can't tell
You beefing with Mike Epps?
I wasn't beefing with Mike Epps. I wasn't beefing with Mike Epps.
We out of
You were beefing with Mike Epps.
I wasn't beefing with Mike Epps.
He was beefing with you?
Me and Mike Epps.
Yeah.
Pretty much came to New York about the same time.
Correct.
He was a country dude from Indiana, Atlanta. I was a country dude from DC, Virginia. And me and him was like closest friends. We used to catch the subway together, ride the subway together. They used to make fun of our country accents. And we was guys that was getting on, right? And some kind of way, during that process, we fell at odds.
Chick. I knew it.
No, it wasn't a chick.
What was it?
Because I was never on the level with the chicks. Mike Epps always had some of the baddest joints. I wasn't there. You might want to get him on the show. And ask him.
I got you.
Ask him how I saved his life. That's a good question.
You saved his life? I'm sorry.
For saving his life?
No.
This
concludes this episode of Club Shay
No.
Shay.
I want to call somebody. All right.
That's the Lord.
Won't he do it? Yo, you awful. Yo, that was up.
Thank you, Villa 66 at Resorts World, for having Club Shay Shay here today. This brand new, spectacular 2-bedroom entertainment villa on the 66th floor has a stunning view of the Strip. This is reserved for invited guests only. Keep up with Villa 66 on social media at Resorts World, Las Vegas.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life I've been grinding all my life.